fillets, and then you take the crab stuffing and you roll it up. The other one, he took that flounder. He took a whole flounder. He flayed it down the backbone, opened it up, shoved the stuffing in there, and baked the whole flounder. Now, that's not traditionally the way I do fish.
Okay, so you're more rolling?
We're more of a fillet. Yeah, we do like fillets. And but either way, it looks pretty good.
By the way, did you get to fish last year?
I did not. I haven't even been walking. I can't even get down to
I wasn't sure. Maybe they deliver you to the hole. You fish. They take you back.
Yes, there's actually one fishing hole on the Rogue River that is quite good for catching salmon, and it's got handicap access.
I was going to say, that's what you need.
Yes.
Handicap fishing hole.
Oh, man.
That can be a lucrative business.
Oh, I would
Creating
think so.
the handicap fishing holes for people who injure themselves on the slopes.
Go figure.
Follow me for more business advice.
Thanks for asking, Paulina.
Well, we have snow falling behind us, around us. Let's see what's happening in our viewing area. Here is the forecast for you for today.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With wintry conditions continuing across our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain and snow with daytime highs near 44 for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of rain and snow, then rain showers this afternoon with highs in the mid-40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with rain and snow continuing tonight. In central Oregon, a slight chance of snow in near 38 in Prineville, a chance of snow in near 34 in Bend, and snow likely in low 30s in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, snow showers in near 40. Rain showers along the Oregon coast with a chance of snow flurries in some spots and daytime highs in the mid to upper 40s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, winter storm warnings continue for the Rogue Valley with rain and snow and highs in the upper 30s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, a chance of snow in near 33 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, a chance of snow in near 38 in Wairika, rain and snow in Redding with a high near 46, rain with gusty winds and a high near 46 in Chico and Sacramento with a high near 50. In the Bay Area, rain with patchy fog and a high near 51 in Santa Rosa, rain for Napa with a high near 51 and San Francisco near 53, and today in San Jose, rain and patchy fog with a high near 52. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
There's Mount Ashland, looking from the lodge out to the parking lot and to the locker room over there. And it's flurrying. They're kind of floating around, aren't they? It's not a driving snow.
They're supposed to open tomorrow. Do you think too much snow can prevent it or not?
There's no such thing as too much snow.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But it can, it can. Yeah,
okay.
Obviously, it created some serious issues in Lake Tahoe. I haven't gotten an update on Interstate 80 if it's open or not, but we've been stuck up there before. Donner Pass is a notorious place. So all travel today, I would go to tripcheck.com. Not only do you get road conditions, but you can go get webcams over the passes that you may be thinking about going over. Think about it, check it out, and you may want to just sit tight today. But anyway, tripcheck.com. Time for some encouragement with Dr. Anthony George as he encourages us with the Scripture's declaration of the glory of God.
I love how God looked at what he had made in 6 days. In Genesis 1:31, it says, "And God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day." In that great throne room scene of Isaiah chapter 6, the living creatures cried out to one another, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." And look what I've underlined there. Would you read it with me? The whole earth is full of his glory. In Nehemiah, when the leaders of the Jewish people were leading them to corporate repentance, they voiced a prayer in chapter 9. "You alone are the Lord. You have made heaven, the heaven of heavens with all their host, the earth and everything on it, the seas and all that is in them." And look at what they say to God. He preserves all that he created. What do you know? We don't have to worry about it. "And the host of heaven worships you."
Now we don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, let's see what is happening in the news right now. Let's look at some of the top stories. Remember Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Oh, yes.
Yes, well, there is a federal ruling right now. Federal judge has ruled that this Salvadorian migrant cannot be redetained by Immigration and Custom Enforcement, finding the government failed to justify his continued immigration custody or show a realistic plan to deport him in the near future. The judge said officials repeatedly threatened to remove him to several African countries without legal orders, and now he has to be free to wait for his trial in Nashville next week.
Okay.
He's been in the country illegally, or he came here illegally. Apparently the government does have some evidence of his wrongdoings in the past, smuggling and all that stuff.
Trafficking. Right?
Yeah, some big items.
Big items.
So the White House says they will continue to fight it, and here's what Carolyn Levitt said.
The White House, the administration, opposed this activism from a judge who is really acting as a judicial activist, which we've unfortunately seen in many cases across the country. Abrego Garcia is present in our country illegally. He is a proven human trafficker. He is a proven gang member. The administration has evidence of that. And as you saw from the Department of Homeland Security, they issued a statement saying they'll continue to fight this legal battle in court.
Love it when the legacy news media talks about this case. They don't talk about proven human trafficker or any of the gang member, any of those issues. They refer to him as a Maryland man.
Yes,
father.
Maryland father.
Yeah,
with
right.
a rap sheet.
Oh,
as
it's
long as
crazy.
A receipt from Costco.
Oh, gosh.
You know, this issue has become, and it's interesting to see some of the Democrats are talking about how the borders need to be secured. I mean, Hillary Clinton
Even
made
Hillary got some
comments,
waves, yes.
and yet we have these cases which, to me, they're almost black and white, if I can say. You know, you're here, I get it. It's hard. Immigration process is long and difficult.
You know it better than most.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I'm a little more harsh on that, where you came here legally. Maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe your parents brought you here, but you came here illegally. And illegally means breaking the law.
Right.
So something has to be done about it. And maybe some cases need to be addressed differently. But to say that there is no law broken and these people deserve special treatment because of that, I think is disrespectful to American citizens.
They didn't require special treatment under past administrations, especially the Obama administration.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious.
And for those of us who did go through the process, it does kind of sting because, you know, I have family members who'd love to be here.
Sure.
I have family members who haven't been able to come here or that I haven't been able to see for years.
Wow.
But we could have done what this gentleman has done and come here illegally.
Right.
We choose not to.
Flown into Mexico and walk across the border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
oh well.
Here we are. So, all right, next one. Hold on here. I'm going to go through. Okay. Iran talks. They've been happening in Europe, and it's interesting how you listen to two different sides of what's going on. The Iran says that we've come to some agreement. The United States says there is still some negotiations to do. I was looking at the X account for Ayatollahs. They have actually their own Twitter account.
Oh, okay.
They've put some serious threats there against the United States.
They said they were going to sink an aircraft carrier.
Yes.
I saw that.
Like, oh, some war on words going on there.
Whoa.
But our Vice President Vance said that there were some agreements and some negotiations that took place and some good outcomes, but Tehran still has not recognized the United States red lines.
The United States has certain red lines. Our primary interest here is we don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. We don't want nuclear proliferation. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, there are a lot of other regimes, some friendly, some not so friendly, who would get nuclear weapons after them. That would be a disaster for the American people because then you have these crazy regimes all over the world with the most dangerous weapons in the world, and that's one of the things the president has said he's going to prevent. Now, we would very much like, as the president has said, to resolve this through a conversation and a diplomatic negotiation, but the president has all options on the table. And, you know, one thing about the negotiation I will say this morning is, you know, in some ways it went well. They agreed to meet afterwards, but in other ways it was very clear that the president has set some red lines that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge and work through. So we're we're going to keep on working it, but of course the president reserves the ability to say when he thinks that diplomacy has reached its natural end. We hope we don't get to that point, but if we do, that'll be the president's call.
You know, it's interesting, too, as we look at all these negotiation movements and, give and take, nobody's been able to successfully negotiate a deal with Iran. I mean, it has been tried over and over again. We've even tried to send them pallets of money. And what good did that do?
You know, some of those X posts that I read yesterday, you just kind of understand, maybe you don't understand, but you have a peek into the mind of these people. And some of those posts were saying, look, the United States says that they've tried to negotiate with us for years. But then it says, but what is it to you, the United States? Leave us alone. So that's their perspective. We're doing what we're doing, you're doing what you're doing. Leave us alone and stop getting into our business.
The trouble with what they're doing is destabilizing an entire region of the world and funding and helping exercise terrorism around the world. I mean, if they were just sitting and minding their P's and Q's and trying to survive in their own little space, it would be one thing. But they're trying to be a player in the world order, and it is not working.
And according to them, their nuclear arsenal is for to run the country.
Oh, you
run the
bet.
country. Yeah.
Yes.
But it was kind of interesting to read. I've never been on their Twitter account. So
I've never looked at that. That's interesting.
Yeah. But hopefully it stays with diplomacy. Hopefully there is no.
How about that?
Conflict. All right, one more headline I wanted to mention. I didn't realize that this is still happening, but Mark Zuckerberg is set to testify in a social media trial that keeps going. Unprecedented social media trial that questions whether Meta and its platforms deliberately harms and addicts children. We all know that social media can be addictive. Meta platforms and Google's YouTube are the two social media defendants in the case. TikTok and Snapchat have already settled it.
Meaning they said, I give, and they paid them.
Yeah.
They paid him.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the settlement amount was in that. But yeah, Zuckerberg's going to go testify today. And I think this is interesting because they're talking about mental health issues on social media platforms, and we know that exists.
Yeah.
But we know that it especially exists in the trans movement, and that there are social media platforms that are basically welcoming platforms to those who are toying with the idea of making a transition, and those who have done it and then tried to go back. Talk about the mental health issues inside of social media and how they felt part of the club and they were welcomed and they were loved on and all this stuff. And then when they expressed their desires to maybe they had made a mistake and they thought maybe they need to go back to their actual birth sex, and then it all turns. Everybody turns on you and you're the pariah. Now you're the bad person and they jump on you. So there are mental health issues further than just what they're dealing with in this trial. But this trial is a big one because obviously there could be a lot of money involved and precedents for future cases.
Yeah, well, and it will be interesting to see what kind of argument Zuckerberg uses, if any, or if he just goes for settlement. But we do have a clip from Andrew Cherkasky. He is a former federal prosecutor, and he says that Zuckerberg can make a really good argument showing that some social media is actually beneficial.
I think every personal injury attorney in America is trying to turn social media into the next tobacco lawsuit type of situation. But it's not that simple. Tobacco, which was determined to effectively have no safe usage, social media is different. And I think that we're going to see a lot of the division of the ways in which social media is actually quite a safe product and is something that is socially very valuable to have. There are some problems that have arisen, particularly with people that have mental health illnesses or people who are particularly young who get themselves stuck in kind of some of these traps of content or the doom scrolling where it just goes on infinitely. And so I think Mark Zuckerberg's going to have to explain some of why those tools are not inherently causing these mental health problems, but it's really the people and the lives that they've led that are causing those issues.
Well, we'll see. Interesting. He mentions tobacco. And now you have a whole movement of people, pro-nicotine movement.
Oh.
Nicotine patches are being used for health reasons.
Oh.
Have you heard of that?
No, I did not know. I thought nicotine patches were basically, I thought, used by people who were trying to stop smoking.
Yeah,
and
but
they
now
supplement the nicotine in.
Right, but
Okay.
now people are also using it for other health reasons.
Really?
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
very interesting. So yeah, we'll see what kind of I digress there.
Now, speaking of patches and digressing, are there any such things as caffeine patches?
Oh, I'm sure. Another business idea.
Here you go.
We're
All right.
opening businesses here all morning long. All right, well, do you watch news, obviously, and read alternative press, or you just kind of stick to cable?
I don't have cable, so my sources are pretty much wide and varied.
Okay.
I do the legacies. I do Fox. I do Newsmax. I look at all of those, and then I listen to a Salem news feed on the way in every morning. So I try to get some kind of a balance. Why? Where are you driving?
Well, after the break, we're going to talk about the popular conservative news sources, and I'll tell you which ones are ranked the highest.
Oh, cool.
Here, yeah.
All right.
So we'll be right back.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride Gray's back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California, or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
Back to the morning show. Well, in our world of social media, anyone is a journalist, and people are creating podcasts left and right and becoming pretty popular. Yeah. We have a lot of alternative news sources to the traditional legacy media. Name, I don't know, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Who doesn't have a podcast? Yeah.
So, among Republicans, there was a poll, and now we know who are the most popular conservative commentators. Any idea who you think it might be?
Hannity. Sean Hannity, I would think. I don't know if Tucker's up there anymore. Megyn Kelly.
I can just give you the answer.
Please.
Okay. I hate to see you struggle.
I'm wiggling here. All right.
Yeah. Number one?
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk. Still. Even though, obviously, he's not producing any live commentary.
But he's got a lot of content that he did.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Following him, Tucker Carlson.
Okay.
And Joe Rogan.
Joe, now they're, and Joe, are they Are they classifying him as a conservative?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but he is the third most popular among conservatives and Republicans.
I'll be darned.
Isn't that interesting?
Okay, yeah, it is.
People like Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, Nick Fuentes, they're all at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, really?
Sean Hannity, I didn't even.
Yeah, where's Sean?
Sorry, the print is so small.
Yeah, I don't know. The print is where's Sean Hannity?
I don't even see Sean on here, but
Candace
maybe
Owens
he was
on there. Ben Alex Jones. Yes. Wow.
maybe Sean was just kind of absorbed by Fox, so he's not even on the list. I don't know. But Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan were at the top of the list. And it's interesting when people are asked what it is about their podcast that attracts you.
Okay.
Well, different things, but the main difference between them and, say, Mark Levin and Laura Loomer is the stance on foreign policy. The foreign policy is really what kind of separates these two camps of commentators.
Okay.
Tucker, Rogan, Candace, they've all been against interference, and they're more for national interest and criticizing a lot of the time the administration, this and mostly previous one, for its handling of certain conflicts.
Okay.
So, to give you a little taste of what I'm talking about, here's Tucker Carlson talking about, well, let me give you a little context.
Okay.
When the situation in Venezuela happened and Maduro was extracted and brought here, you know, people were speculating, where is it going? What does it mean? Tucker, I thought, had an interesting take on what's happening in the world and what the latest action of the United States means.
Okay.
So here's what he said following the events in Venezuela.
So every time we've gone into foreign countries in Latin America, but not just Latin America, really around the world, there has been a pretext for that, usually about human rights or democracy. We're not going to put up with this or that government treating its people this way, and we have to go in to stop the tyranny because we are a force for openness and freedom. And there's been some truth in that, of course. But behind that has been the calculation behind every big foreign policy move made by every big country. How is this good for us? Whether it's propping up the dollar or getting access to resources, there's always another reason that we're doing it, and people who are paying close attention know that. Of course, one of the reasons that American troops have been clustered around the Middle East for as long as they have been is not just the Israeli lobby, it's because there's an awful lot of energy in the Middle East, oil and gas, and that's important to our country. So, of course, we have a stake in making sure it can be extracted and moved around the world, obviously. But what makes what happened in Venezuela, taking the head of state out of the presidential palace with Delta Force and bringing him to New York and putting him on trial, what makes that so very different from, say, I don't know, pick one, killing Mossadegh in 1953 in Iran or whatever, is that the U.S. government, the President of the United States, basically just said we're doing this because of the resources. Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserve in the world. It's in our hemisphere. It's going to China. And how about no? This is our hemisphere. It's going to go to us. He just said it out loud. And there's something kind of thrilling about that. There's something thrilling about the honesty there. There's no fakery. No, we're the U.S. We're not going to put up with that. This is our interest, and we're going to protect it. That's what the president said. And for the first time in a long time, there was pretty strong support from the right, from Trump voters, for foreign policy adventurism. Keep in mind, a lot of them voted for the president on the basis of his pledge to not start new wars. Well, here is effectively a new conflict, and they're supporting it. Why? Because the president justified it in terms of our national interest. This is good for us. We're not upholding international law. We're doing it because we want the oil. And again, there's something bracing and refreshing about someone finally telling the truth about why we're doing what we're doing. And the president absolutely told the truth.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's his take. Do you ever listen to Tucker or Rogan?
No, I hear bits of Joe Rogan. I have never listened. That's the most I've heard of Tucker since he was on Fox.
Really? Yeah, he has his pod. What I do, I listen to a lot of podcasters, and you know, Megyn Kelly, Tucker, Candace, Rogan. And what I love about these people is that they think for themselves. That's what's refreshing to me. Don't always agree with them, but I do like the fact that they're exercising their right to think and to say what they believe is true or what they want to explore. Because I feel like in our free society, we have given up a lot of our freedoms voluntarily by refusing to think for ourselves and just absorbing the headlines and believing everything that we're fed. So to me, that's refreshing, and I wonder if that's what some people like as well, is just this kind of just the journey they go on when they listen to these people. Let's explore. Maybe we'll find nothing there, but let's ask these questions.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works too. You know, I look at the governor's race in Oregon, and we see these different Republican voices. There are more than, what, 14 or 16?
Oh, yeah, it sounds like the presidential campaign of 2016 when we had a lot of candidates.
I think the trouble with the Republican Party in some sense is that oftentimes you will have a number of them come into a race like going on in Oregon, and then as the primary process goes through and then a candidate starts to rise, then other Republican, maybe one or two others, say, well, they're not Republican enough, they're not conservative enough, they're not Christian enough, or you fill in the blank, and then they say, so we're not going to support them, or we're going to start a third-party movement on this. They divide the vote, the conservative vote, and we lose again. And it happens over and over and over again. And it seems as though, even though there sometimes is a divide in the Democrat Party, and we see that from the AOC wing, the squad wing, and all that stuff, and then there are still a few, not many, but, you know, like Fetterman and a few others. But when it comes time to vote, they all gather together. They circle the wagons and they stick together. Republicans tend to be a little bit more like herding cats. So that kind of makes me nervous. And when we look at all those voices like Joe Rogan, we look at Tucker Carlson and such, I kind of see that, you know. He's like, and you're right, it is healthy to express these views. But if we don't all agree with each other on it, when it comes down to crunch time, I think there still has to be a movement towards some kinds of unity and rallying around whoever it is that people choose. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's interesting that Tucker's still there. I didn't realize he was so high.
He is. It is pretty amazing how he's been able to leave such a popular position at Fox. I mean, he was, I think, their highest ranking anchor there when he left, and now he's been able to build his own network and podcast.
Yeah, and he's taken a lot of heat about the anti-Semitic thing as well.
Yes, and that's another thing, you know, thinking for yourself and saying things. People are so quick to put labels. I've listened to his thoughts, and I agree with many of them. Am I anti-Semite? No, but I agree with some of the thought process, where we can listen to both sides, or we can be for something without being against something. So I think that's another thing which you're talking about here. When Republicans get together and someone disagrees, they start saying, oh, you're not Christian, you're not conservative enough, and you go ways. Meanwhile, Tucker is in the White House last week. So he says all these things, and yet he's still kind of like, going back to your point, he can still break bread and probably vote for Trump. Or a Republican candidate. All right, we're way over time.
Yeah, boy.
Okay. Do you want to do the next story, or should we?
Can we save it? You know, it's Hillary, and I want to hear her.
Should we do it next hour?
Yeah, let's do it next hour.
Okay, we'll go to break. We'll be right back.
All God's children of love and light, every heart will be unified, singing praise.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Good morning.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, big day for a lot of people in the Christian world. All right, it is a big day here too because it's snowing, and if you have to go somewhere, be careful. The roads are icy. So before we get to our next story, let's take a look at the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With wintry conditions continuing across our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain and snow with daytime highs near 44 for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of rain and snow, then rain showers this afternoon with highs in the mid-40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with rain and snow continuing tonight. In central Oregon, a slight chance of snow in near 38 in Prineville, a chance of snow in near 34 in Bend, and snow likely in low 30s in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, snow showers in near 40. Rain showers along the Oregon coast with a chance of snow flurries in some spots and daytime highs in the mid to upper 40s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, winter storm warnings continue for the Rogue Valley with rain and snow and highs in the upper 30s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, a chance of snow in near 33 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, a chance of snow in near 38 in Wairika, rain and snow in Redding with a high near 46, rain with gusty winds and a high near 46 in Chico and Sacramento with a high near 50. In the Bay Area, rain with patchy fog and a high near 51 in Santa Rosa, rain for Napa with a high near 51 and San Francisco near 53, and today in San Jose, rain and patchy fog with a high near 52. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
It is snowing.
Some cars in the parking lot there at Mount Ashland. Snow coming in a little bit more sideways now.
Do you think they came this morning or they never left?
No, I think they're pulling in. I see tail lights, brake lights. So it's only people like me who don't leave. We stay up there. It's called winter camping.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, many of us grew up with the Marlboro Man and many other cigarette ads, but it was on this day in history that television viewers saw a powerful and deeply personal anti-smoking message from a very familiar face. Actor Yul Brynner, best known for his role as the King in The King and I, appeared in an anti-smoking public service announcement recorded before his death. Brynner had died just months earlier on October 10, 1985, from lung cancer caused by years of smoking. In the ad, filmed shortly before he passed, Brynner looks directly into the camera with a simple, sobering warning. His message wasn't dramatic, it wasn't theatrical, it was direct. Now, nearly 4 decades later, the words still resonate.
I really wanted to make a commercial when I discovered that I was that sick and my time was so limited. I wanted to make that commercial that says simply, now that I'm gone, I tell you, don't smoke. Whatever you do, just don't smoke. If I could take back that smoking, we wouldn't be talking about any cancer. I'm convinced of that.
I'll never forget that. I mean, it was stunning. Yeah, we saw that. They played that over and over again, and I thought, my goodness. And I'm sure it had a big impact.
Yeah, well, the most powerful testimony is when you went through something and
yes,
now.
And they played that after his death, and it's like, oh my goodness. And he was the king in The King and I, etc., etc.
And so he passed.
Yeah, he passed
from cancer.
And he passed, and then they showed the commercial.
Wow. Well, didn't mean to have a transition like this, but
sorry.
No, it actually ties, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
Rush Limbaugh.
Oh yeah.
Passed away 5 years ago yesterday. But speaking of great conservative voices, he was one of a kind.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone has been able to replace him.
Nobody's filled that void.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he was educational, he was funny, he was
entertaining.
Yes. And he also kind of was thinking outside the box a lot of the time and wasn't afraid to wander off and then bring it all back.
Yeah.
So, yesterday, President Trump posted a video in honor of his friend and someone he really admired, Rush Limbaugh. And this is what the president said.
This is the 5th anniversary of the loss of a really great man, a great conservative, somebody that loved our country, loved his family, loved a lot of things, but he was a friend of mine, Rush Limbaugh. I'd never met Rush when I announced that I was running. I'll never forget, 2015, and I got a call all excited that Rush Limbaugh just endorsed you. I never met him. He liked my opening speech. He liked when I got up in June and I said, you know, we got bad borders, we got bad crime, we got bad everything. And he liked it. I came down the escalator with now our First Lady, and he thought it was great. And he endorsed me, and then I got to know him, and I realized what a great guy he was. But it's 5 years that we miss Rush. As Sean Hannity would often say, there will never be another Rush Limbaugh. So to his family, his great wife and family, I just want to say we miss you all, we miss him, and there'll never be anybody like him. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's for sure. Did you listen to Rush when he was around?
Absolutely. I'll never forget the first time I listened to him. Yeah, we're moving up and coming up Interstate 5, and I was in a moving van, and we're coming by Sacramento, and I'm going through the dial, you know, trying to find something, and I get this guy, he starts talking, I think, who is this? And I start listening to him, and I went as far as the signal, you know, would carry. And after that, I just every day I was back on trying to find him. It was like, who is this guy? Where can I get him? And then obviously his network exploded, and you could get him everywhere. But yeah, I listened to him every day.
May I ask what year it was when you discovered him?
1989.
Okay, so that was definitely before you could just go online and start listening to, to clips.
Right, there was no online. That was back in the olden days.
Well, you're right, and his show exploded. He had millions every day tuning in, and it was just one of a kind. Well, and to honor Rush, here is a clip from one of his famous explanations of American exceptionalism. He explained that the exception to the rule is that leaders serve the people.
The history of the world is dictatorship, tyranny, whatever you want to call it, subjugation of populations. And then along came the United States of America. Pilgrims are the first to come here seeking freedom from all of that. They were oppressed because of their religion. They were told they had to believe in the king and his God, whatever it was, or they would be imprisoned. They led an exodus from Europe to this country of people of the same mindset. They simply wanted to escape the tyranny of their ordinary lives. This country was founded. For the first time in human history, a government and country was founded on the belief that leaders serve the population. This country, the first in history, and this is the exception, E-X-C-E-P-T, except the exception to the rule is what American exceptionalism is. And because of this liberty and freedom that our country exists because the founders recognized it comes from God. It's part of the natural yearning of the human spirit. It is not granted by a government. It's not granted by Putin. It's not granted by Obama or any other human being. We are created with the natural yearning to be free. And it is other men and leaders throughout human history who have suppressed that and imprisoned people for seeking it. The U.S. is the first time in the history of the world where a government was organized with a constitution laying out the rules that the individual was supreme and dominant. And that is what led to the U.S. becoming the greatest country ever, because it unleashed people to be the best they could be, unlike it had ever happened. That's American exceptionalism. Putin doesn't know what it is. Obama doesn't know what it is. And it just got trashed in the New York Times. It's just unacceptable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes he went on those rants, but,
but no.
There's something about those rants, they're always positive.
Oh, totally. And there is the void that can't be filled. I mean, nobody Nobody does that.
No, but he's so right about American exceptionalism and why it just feels different in this country. For those of us who've traveled the world, you come here, it does feel different, at least for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Just one voice. All right, well, we're going to go have, what are we having today?
What are we having?
Crab.
Crab stuffed flounder.
Oh, yummy. It's going to stink here, but it's going to be so yummy. All right, we'll be back.
In a beautiful display, it's all love tonight. When we step across the line, we can sail across the sea to a city with one key.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and joy. It's your season to shine. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 4 p.m. on the Dove TV. More at thedove.us.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
You guys should start doing it. Hey everyone, welcome back. We're talking about our smartwatches that tell us to stand up.
Mine says you've been sitting long enough, Chair. Get up.
Well, you should start doing that on air.
Yeah.
Be a reminder for people watching.
Oh, now there's a new twist.
Yeah,
everybody all together now.
All together. Well, speaking of all together, I feel like half of our government went to Europe last week.
Isn't that amazing?
I didn't realize that the Security Council in Munich was so popular, but
everybody who's out of the country, I felt less secure with the security conference.
Maybe it was kind of, I felt a little more free, actually.
You're right. You're right.
Well, one of the people who was there was AOC, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. And she said some things that raised eyebrows and said some things that totally didn't make sense. But on Newsmax National Report, U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matthew Whitaker, responded to the clip of AOC at the Munich Security Conference trying to answer a question about potential Chinese aggression towards Taiwan.
This is of course a very long-standing policy.
Not only was Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez there, but also Governor Whitmer was the third panelist, and that was several questions deep into the panel where both of them at least turned to me once or twice, wanting me to answer first, so that I guess they could, help them with their homework. And then ultimately, when I wasn't willing to do that, they gave some sort of interesting, to say the least, non-answers. But this is obviously the Munich Security Conference is the Super Bowl of foreign policy when it comes to these issues. And the expectation is that this panel. In my preparation for it, and my experience, is that this panel was going to be about all the current issues facing the world, whether it's, an ascendant China, whether it is the war in Ukraine, whether it is the situation in Gaza, all these topics were fair game, and I think that the question about China and whether or not and when it makes a move on Taiwan, hypothetically, what does the United States do? I think it's very much, if you're expecting to run for president, you should have a pretty good answer on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you watch her dialogue on that particular instance?
I saw clips of her struggling to answer.
She was asked the question. It took her 20 seconds before she finally gathered enough thoughts to try and address it. And then it was a word salad again. It reminded a lot of people of Kamala.
Yeah.
And
well, and I think he makes a good point. Even if we disagree, at least you should be able to articulate what you think.
Yeah.
You are a public official and someone who is possibly going to be running for president.
Right.
So when people ask, tell us what you think, or at least know what America's position is. The one China policy has been around forever, so at least be able to articulate that.
Yeah, something, right. Yeah, it just doesn't.
It's not even about the difference of opinion. It's about not being able to talk.
Did you see some of the social media posts after that? It's like they were saying, run AOC, run for president. Yeah, we can't wait.
Create content for us to discuss.
Oh my goodness. Well, and we got a lot of that in the last cycle too, watching Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
And she's still in the wings too. She hasn't pulled her name out of the hat. She's on a tour, on a book tour still right now. And you know who else is going out on a book tour? Is Gavin.
Is he really?
Yes.
He wrote a book?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know who helped him, but yeah, he wrote a book, and he's going to be out talking about it. And of course, everybody, this is the pre-cycle. They're all running for president before they announce they're running for president.
When are you going to write a book?
I'm writing a book no, I'm not writing it.
Would you ever write a book?
No, never.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear about skiing.
Your stories?
You write what you're comfortable about.
The stories I've heard, I'd read it.
You know what? I got some fishing stories that I could tell.
You can do fishing and skiing.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I got some. In fact, I'll tell you some at the break. But anyway, let's do this. Every afternoon around 3 o'clock in Cleveland, construction workers on an upper floor of a new hospital building stop whatever they're doing for one very special reason. They look toward a nearby hospital window and form heart shapes with their hands. On the other side of the glass, 4-year-old Brinley Weiselek smiles and makes a heart right back. Brinley has spent more than 100 days at Cleveland Children's Clinic waiting for a heart transplant. A mechanical pump known as a Berlin heart is helping keep her alive while she waits. The connection started with a simple flashlight signal from her dad, and when workers flashed back, a daily tradition was born. Soon there were handmade signs like "Get well soon" and "Keep fighting." The crew even brought gifts, coloring books, games, and even a stuffed bear twice her size. One carpenter said, "We build hospitals to help people heal, but seeing Brinley made it personal."
It really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And I think a lot of the guys around here felt the same. And that connection started growing every day.
Each wave is a reminder that healing isn't just medical. Sometimes it's human, and sometimes it starts with a flashlight. That was
beautiful.
Yeah, and the construction worker, big tough construction guy.
Yeah.
Very emotional.
Well, that reminded me, I looked it up. Hawkeye Wave is a heartwarming University of Iowa tradition. Started in 2017, where over 70,000 fans, coaches, players, they all turn and wave to the patients of UI Stead Family Children's Hospital. And those videos are also beautiful and heartwarming.
Yes.
The whole stadium waves and the kids wave back.
Wonderful.
So simple and yet so profound. Yeah.
Love it.
All right, do you want to take the scripture for today and read it for us?
We're looking at Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. Be confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. Take that with you on this Wednesday.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
If you are tired, that means I get fed up. I am tired of living the way I'm living. If you're tired from carrying heavy loads, if you're not tired of trying to solve all the problems by yourself, Jesus can't help you. So let me ask you, are you tired? Are you tired of running on empty? Are you fed up with the emptiness that you've been feeling in your life? And are you willing to do something about it? As I said, we don't change until we feel the heat. You have to come some point in your life where you go, I have had enough. I refuse to live this way any longer.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Salem, Kaiser, and the Willamette Valley. Seen on KSLM 27 and these Dove TV affiliates. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy snowy Wednesday.
Yeah.
We had to what's the word when you dig something out? Dig out.
Yes.
I came up with the word.
You did it.
My car was frozen, so
Your
I'm still
car went-
traumatized.
How did you get the door open?
Barely.
Yeah.
Probably broke it too.
And you know what? It's interesting. I don't know what's going on out there right now, but it has been a tough morning so far. And it's been worse on the valley floor. When I came in from the upper road, it wasn't too bad up there. I got down here onto Table Rock Road, and it was just nasty. So, you know, conditions are changing through the day. Be careful out there. We still have winter storm watches around us, and snow again on the valley floor and at upper elevations. It will be doing some good for Mount Ashland because they're going to be opening, and it certainly doesn't hurt places like Shasta Ski Park and Mount Bachelor and everybody else. We're looking at Mount Ashland right now.
Thinking
and
about it.
Looks just like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering who we are, I'm Paulina, and this is Jerry.
Oh, yeah. Good morning. Yeah, thank
Welcome
you.
to the morning
Paulina's
show.
sitting in for Perry. He's away for a few days. And
Yes.
Paulina has graced us with her presence. Thank you
I'm
very
here
much. Yes.
at the expense of my frozen car.
At your frozen.
I'll get
and-
over it.
Wait a minute. And at the expense of a little sleep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Oh, well.
And by the way, we are looking into this situation that's happening in Tahoe, where 9 skiers are still missing. Let me just see if there's any updates.
Out
last
of
I
the
saw it.
Truckee area, Boreal Ski Pass, some backcountry skiers, 15 of them were buried yesterday in an avalanche. 6 have been known to have survived, but there are still 9 who are missing and presumably who are under the snow. It was a massive avalanche, again, backcountry skiers, and a lot of storming going on. Interstate 80 yesterday over Donner Pass was closed. It was so nasty. So a lot lot of bad weather in the Sierra Nevada mountain range, and Tahoe's getting a lot of it. But still, we're watching and praying for those.
The 9 missing. When you're covered in the snow, and if you're able to create an air pocket, what about? Because we talked about it last hour, how that's what you want to do. If you're able to breathe, what's happening with your body though?
You're starting to freeze.
Okay, so I was wondering if those off-road skiers, what do you call them?
The backcountry skiers.
Backcountry skiers. If they have any kind of special thermal clothes that can keep them warm for a while?
There are a few things that are, well, everybody's dressed warm to ski anyway, so that's about as warm as you're going to get. But again, too, there are the beeper devices that backcountry skiers use so we can locate each other if we get buried. They also have these inflatable vests now that some people are using in dangerous situations that when a slide occurs, they inflate and they help bring you up to the top. And again, as I mentioned, if you're in an avalanche, they teach you how to go through a swimming motion to try get to the top, and then at the last second, if you are buried, if the snow is coming over your head as it settles, your last motion is to take your hands in front of your face, push as hard as you can, and you'll probably end up with them like this. But at least you're creating an air pocket and you're giving yourself a chance, because your chance of survival being buried in an avalanche is about 50-50 up to 30 minutes. So
and it's been several hours.
And it's been several hours. So.
Now, they were all together? It was one group?
Yeah, one group.
So then they know where the people are?
Yes, and 6 survived, so they know exactly where they are.
Yeah.
But still, what happens...
How hard is it to dig out in
Well,
this
it is.
condition?
It's hard. They have the beepers, and in a big avalanche slide path, they know the general area where they are, but a slide can cover huge amounts of area. It can go for hundreds of yards.
Oh, wow.
So if you're dragged down with it, you're somewhere down slope. And now they know where the glide path is or the avalanche path is, but still they have to go out. Now,
this is so horrible to imagine.
I used to be a ski on a probe team when people got buried. We would go out and they'd give us these 15-foot stainless steel poles, and you stand shoulder to shoulder, and they say probe right, and you go right by your right ski boot, and you go down until you hit ground. And then they say probe center, and they put it right in the middle until you hit ground, and then probe left, and everybody in unison. And if you find something spongy, then you call for a shovel man. And the shovel man comes up behind you, and then you take 1 half step forward, and they start digging where you hit something spongy. Most times it's a tree branch. And you got to be careful, because if you find something spongy, you don't want to hit it too hard, because it might be a person. Yeah, and so
you can actually be buried upside down.
Oh yeah, you can be any position. Yes, absolutely. So anyway, thoughts and prayers for those folks out there, and for those who are putting themselves in danger going out and trying to find them, because that's a dangerous, dangerous job. So anyway, the weather conditions are tough. Be careful out there. But it is Ash Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes, start of the Lenten season, and serves as a day to remember we're dust.
Yeah,
we will return to dust.
The ash.
The
part
ashes,
of it.
yes. And a lot of traditions, faith traditions have the ashes and the sign of the cross on the forehead, and it is that day, so we commemorate the start of Lent. Also, the National Battery Day. Every day's National Battery Day. I mean, we can't live without batteries these days. We're surrounded by them. We got batteries in here. We got batteries in our laptops.
Here.
And hopefully your battery works in your car this morning.
Yes.
If you want to get to work. But, obviously the cold puts a crimp on some battery activity in life.
When people get pacemakers, is there a battery?
I think so.
Inside you?
Yeah, I think there's a battery inside those. And I think they have to... plug those people in once. Well, no.
At those charging stations.
I have.
Target.
Yeah, I have a sister-in-law who has an issue with Parkinson's. And they have implanted a device. In fact, I did a story where they did it to a musician, a young gal, and they were implanting, because of her Parkinson's, they were implanting a device in her brain that would help control the Parkinson's.
Oh, wow.
They actually did it while she was awake.
And so they can monitor
she was playing the clarinet while they were doing open brain surgery on her. and they put the device in. But my sister-in-law uses that, and they can program the thing to help her with that, and it's amazing the results that they've had with some of these things. And so her device has a charger that hangs around her neck because she has an implant in her brain, and it's got a battery. And so they have to charge the battery.
Does she have to wear the charger all the time, or just when she charges?
About every 5 or 6 days, I think, she puts a charger on over her collarbone like this, and it somehow connects with her battery in her brain in this device, and it charges the battery up. And if she's having trouble with tremors, because Parkinson's can manifest itself in your hand movement and stuff, they have a little looks like a remote control for your TV, and they dial it in, and they change the dial, and she'll be going through it, and then they hit the right thing, and it just stops. It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing. But batteries, we can't live without them. Today is National Battery Day, and of course, Benjamin Franklin first coined the term battery in 1748 to describe an array of charged glass plates. We have one thing to eat, but oh, is it good. It is National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day. Well, this one-of-a-kind dish is composed of a stuffing made with crab meat, breadcrumbs, butter, and seasonings. Is stuffed into the whole flounder or rolled up into the fillets and baked. Flounder is a mild flavored flatfish, and there are approximately 100 different species of flounder around the United States. The winter flounder and the Pacific flounder are common species, and while there are thousands of species of crabs, only certain ones are edible. In the U.S., some of the more popular and tasty ones are the blue crab, stone crab, Dungeness crab, king crab, and rock or snow crab, and they come in both hard and soft shells and can be found along all coasts, including Hawaii. So however you want to stuff your flounder, whether you want to do it, cut open the fish, open it up, shove the stuffing in, and then bake it, or wrap it up in a fillet, be my guest. It is crab stuffed flounder day.
Wow, looks so good.
It is wonderful.
Do you ever fish for those ingredients?
I have caught, you know what, I have done a lot of crabbing, and I have caught a lot of flounder. The East Coast version of the flounder that I caught was called fluke. And they are fabulous, and you got to know, it's a different cleaning technique to clean a flatfish, but they have a mild flavor. They're a white fillet. They're just fabulous, and no wonder they're stuffing it with crab. It's just a good carrier.
Looks really good.
Stuff.
I want to make it.
I'm excited.
Yes. All right. Weather.
Yeah, why
is
not?
happening. Weather. Let's see what our meteorologist is saying.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With wintry conditions continuing across our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain and snow with daytime highs near 44 for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of rain and snow, then rain showers this afternoon with highs in the mid-40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with rain and snow continuing tonight. In central Oregon, a slight chance of snow in near 38 in Prineville, a chance of snow in near 34 in Bend, and snow likely in low 30s in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, snow showers in near 40. Rain showers along the Oregon coast with a chance of snow flurries in some spots, and daytime highs in the mid to upper 40s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, winter storm warnings continue for the Rogue Valley with rain and snow and highs in the upper 30s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, a chance of snow in near 33 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, a chance of snow in near 38 in Wairika, rain and snow in Redding with a high near 46, rain with gusty winds and a high near 46 in Chico and Sacramento with a high near 50. In the Bay Area, rain with patchy fog and a high near 51 in Santa Rosa, rain for Napa with a high near 51 and San Francisco near 53, and today in San Jose, rain and patchy fog with a high near 52. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
What are we looking at?
It's
white.
We are looking. It looks like we're looking down Roxy Ann down at the valley.
Okay, the
Yeah, we
valley's
got
there.
Snow on the valley floor, if that's what we're looking at, and a lot of fog. So it's kind of wintry conditions out there. Be careful. Well, it is, you know, the glory is found in the beauty of His creation. It is His glory all around us, and Dr. Anthony George encourages us with a look at it.
The Bible is filled with references to the sun and the moon and the stars. It's filled with references to mountains and rivers and streams, to rain, to dirt, flowering plants, green grass, the changing of seasons, the withering and falling of leaves, the beauty of springtime. In all of this, Scripture teaches us to see the glory of God. We don't have to wait to go to heaven to see His glory. We see His majesty in His work of creation. And we also see it in humankind, in the conception and the carrying and the delivering of a precious baby life. It's a beautiful picture of the glory of God, a new life crafted and fashioned by His hands, whose days were already recorded before time even began. The glory of God is in every direction.
I'll never forget, we had friends from the East Coast come and visit us, and up on our property where we have no light pollution and I have no neighbors around us. And they were visiting, and we took them out at night on a starry night, no moon, and they were stunned. They both, you know, they were actually a few years older than Pam and I, and they looked at the sky and they said, "We've never ever seen this many stars in our lifetime." They were stunned that you could see what they saw. And it's like, you know, it's the glory of God. We live in a beautiful slice of His creation.
We sure do.
We're just very blessed that we can.
And it is such a wonder. You know, you look at the trees and the stars, and gosh, even the cities are beautiful, and a lot of it is God's creation, and you wonder how can people think that it just came from nothing.
Right, right. And you know what, I got to tell you, it's one of the biggest attractions for skiing for me. Is you get out into that wilderness, into that creation, and it's stunning. I never get tired of it.
Well, I hope you get to do it again in your lifetime.
I hope so too. Thank you very much.
Take care of your leg there.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's take a look at some of the top stories for this Wednesday morning. There is a federal judge ruling in regard to the Maryland dad. Remember him?
Oh yeah, the Maryland
Kilmer
dad.
Abrego Garcia was detained, deported, brought back, detained again. Well, now the judge has ruled that he should be freed from ICE custody and cannot be redetained due to some government errors. And he just has to await his trial next week that is happening in Nashville. Basically, the judge said the Trump administration failed to provide the court with any, quote, good reason to believe, end of quote, that they plan to remove him to a third country in the reasonably foreseeable future, and instead they made one empty threat after another to remove him to countries in Africa with no real chance of success. So this judge is obviously just challenging Trump administration in being political in this. Regardless, the ruling stands, and we'll see what happens with him. He does have a long rap sheet, and Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, says that they will keep fighting for justice with this guy.
The White House, the administration, opposed this activism from a judge who is really acting as a judicial activist, which we've unfortunately seen in many cases across the country. Abrego Garcia is present in our country illegally. He is a proven human trafficker. He is a proven gang member. The administration has evidence of that. And as you saw from the Department of Homeland Security, they issued a statement saying they'll continue to fight this legal battle in court.
It's interesting, though, because we see kind of this divide, and we know we have a divide in our country, but this is a divide about who you're going to back. Are you going to back the good guys? Are you going to back the bad guys? I mean, it's like law enforcement or criminals who need to be deported. I don't know.
And who would have thought that we would have these debates, you know, with all these ICE protests?
Yes.
To some people, it's black and white. You don't get in the way of law enforcement when they're enforcing the law. You get hurt.
It's just politics. There was no such thing as an ICE debate until this president, period.
Yeah. All right. Well, another debate that's happening is the nuclear negotiations with Iran. Our delegation met with the Iranian delegation in Geneva, and Iran asserted that the talks produced agreement on guiding principles to avert conflict. But Vice President Vance said that Tehran still has not recognized key United States red lines.
The United States has certain red lines. Our primary interest here is we don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. We don't want nuclear proliferation. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, there are a lot of other regimes, some friendly, some not so friendly, who would get nuclear weapons after them. That would be a disaster for the American people, because then you have these crazy regimes all over the world with the most dangerous weapons in the world, and that's one of the things the president has said he's going to prevent. Now, we would very much like, as the president has said, to resolve this through a conversation and a diplomatic negotiation, but the president has all options on the table. And, one thing about the negotiation I will say this morning is, in some ways it went well. They agreed to meet afterwards, but in other ways it was very clear that the president has set some red lines that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge and work through. So we're going to keep on working it, but of course the president reserves the ability to say when he thinks that diplomacy has reached its natural end. We hope we don't get to that point, but if we do, that'll be the president's call.
You know what the trouble is here is that nobody's been able to successfully negotiate anything with Iran. They are rogue, and I don't know, what we can expect out of it.
Yeah. But Trump, President Trump has been able to come up with ways to make deals using the economy.
Well, that's true. Tariffs.
Yeah, so we'll see if he can find a lever there. All right, and finally, just wanted to mention Mark Zuckerberg is set to testify in an interesting social media trial that both TikTok and Snap already settled. Now, YouTube and Meta platforms are still up to participate and take part in this. And this is an unprecedented social media trial that questions whether Meta's platforms deliberately addict and harm children, which we know social media is addictive, but is it deliberate? And can something be done by these platforms to stop these addictions? Federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkasky says that Zuckerberg can make a pretty good argument saying that there's actually a lot of benefit of social media.
I think every personal injury attorney in America is trying to turn social media into the next tobacco lawsuit type of situation. But it's not that simple. Tobacco, which was determined to effectively have no safe usage, social media is different. And I think that we're going to see a lot of the division of the ways in which social media is actually quite a safe product and is something that is socially very valuable to have. There are some problems that have arisen, particularly with people that have mental health illnesses or people who are particularly young who get themselves stuck in kind of some of these traps of content or the doom scrolling where it just goes on infinitely. And so I think Mark Zuckerberg's going to have to explain some of why those tools are not inherently causing these mental health problems, but it's really the people and the lives that they've led that are causing those issues.
Do you feel like people are responsible for social media, or is social media responsible for social media?
Oh boy. Well, you know what? I'm a pretty strong believer in you're responsible for your actions yourself. So it's hard for me to pin blame on social media, but there is something going on in social media.
Especially when you talk about young kids before their brain is formed and when they're susceptible to all kinds of ideas and persuasions, and it's easy to get them to believe one way or the other, or to go one way or the other.
I think we see that in the transgender movement right now. I think there's a lot of social media mental illness going on, and they're looking at this one. This case got brought forth by the mother of a young girl who became depressed and suicidal. And she blamed a lot of her condition on the social media activities that she was involved in. But we see those across the board, and as we talk about some of these other issues like the transgender issues, we know that some of the platforms are very inviting and very welcoming them in. It's like a warm fuzzy for them. You're kind of a hero when you admit that, I need transition, but if you decide to change your mind and you made a mistake, then it changes it all. They turn on you. And so the social media aspect, again, I'm a strong believer in being responsible for your actions, but this is something new that we've never seen before in our lifetime, and there are effects that have consequences, and I think they definitely need to look at it. And obviously, there's something to it because who settled Snap and
TikTok.
TikTok. They settled out of court with these people, so they paid them big money already. So this thing is not done. It's going to be interesting to see.
So we'll be watching then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yesterday was 5 years since Rush Limbaugh passed away.
Oh my goodness.
And no one has been able to fill that void. But there are a lot of conservative commentators and podcasters out there. And coming up after the break, we'll tell you who is the most popular.
Wow. All right.
Your love, the only thing that matters is your love, your love. That's all I have to give. Your love.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride Grace back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California. Or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and joy. It's your season to shine. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 4 p.m. on the Dove TV. More at thedove.us.
Welcome back. Be careful out there. It is a snowy morning, icy morning here in Southern Oregon, and we are tracking all kinds of stuff. And an interesting poll came out. Republicans being asked who is their favorite commentator, podcaster, voice that they get their
Media
news from.
source, yeah. Okay.
I was surprised to hear that Charlie Kirk is at the top. Not surprised because of his content, but surprised that he's still ranked.
Yeah.
People still listen to a big library that he left behind of his.
And you know what? I encourage, especially Charlie haters, you know, who say he spoke hate and stuff. Go listen. I encourage you to go to his podcast. Go listen to his interchange with people on campuses. He was a gentleman at all times. He let people speak. He didn't say anything that you wouldn't hear from the pulpit of your church. It's,
Well,
anyway.
and not only that, he was so well read and well educated where he could make arguments that made sense. Of course, if you don't want to hear it, if you don't want to be persuaded, then yeah, there is a wall. You're not going to hear him. But if you're open-hearted and you want to understand, he was really good at it. And I think that's what draws people to a lot of other podcasters that are at the top. Joe Rogan, he is a controversial figure in the conservative world. He said things and he believes things that many don't.
Good point, yeah.
I don't even know if he's Christian.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he's very open. He has people on his show he disagrees with, and he just has a conversation. Nothing is off limits. Same with people like Tucker Carlson. Again, another controversial figure. Christian, but he has views that a lot of conservatives disagree with. He sits down with people and he asks questions and he has these conversations. the appeal I have towards these people, because I feel like we should question things. It doesn't mean we're going to arrive at the same conclusion, but questioning is good. It's American. And so Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk are at the top of this poll. People like Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, Nick Fuentes, they're at the bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere in the middle are floating Alex Jones, Candace Owens. Who else was there? There's another name that escapes me. But anyway, I thought it was interesting that this was the result.
It's interesting you mentioned Joe Rogan, and I think that came into play in the last election cycle, the fact that candidate Donald Trump and J.D. Vance both sat down for long format interviews with Joe Rogan, like 3 hours each. But Kamala resisted. She wouldn't do it. And then she tried to blame other factors involved, and Joe Rogan said, no, it was you. You didn't want to show up. But I think it really played into the results.
It did, and then his endorsement of Trump at the 11th hour.
And you know what? Part of that endorsement, I think, was Trump showed up. You know, he was willing to talk about it.
He was willing to talk,
and again, too, not all of us agree, you know, down the line with Joe Rogan. But you're right. He is open about having a discussion. And that's part of the problem in this country now is that, you know, we, especially from the left, you get this inclusion and diversity. It's like you're only included if you agree with me.
If you agree,
And there is no diversity. Well,
and when you start looking into what these people cover on their shows and why certain conservatives like them, certain conservatives don't, foreign policy is actually really big. And the reason, at least according to this poll, Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan rank high is not just their stance on foreign policy, but their discussions, their openness to question things and not just be kind of just like a nodding talking heads. And so just to give a taste to those who haven't heard Tucker for a while, here's him talking about the need for the United States to be allies with Russia.
Russia is the largest country in the world. It has the most resources in the world. That means energy, oil and gas. It means all kinds of minerals. It means gold. You need to be aligned with Russia. And the number one thing you can't do, Donald Trump has said this many times over the years, is allow Russia and China to become a bloc, because if you do, then you are facing off against the majority of the world's population, the biggest population bloc in the world, the biggest land mass in the world, and the biggest economy in the world, if you combine those two. So you can't do that. And it's pretty clear that the last administration intentionally drove Russia into an alliance with China, which they now have. Just to be really clear, just to bottom line it, if Donald Trump wants to commit one act as president that will secure him a place in history forever as a hero, it would be to bring Russia back into alliance with the United States. Oh, Russia's bad. Right. Kind of hard to say that after Venezuela. And it's tiresome anyway. No, Russia is not bad or good. Russia is essential to the United States. We cannot survive a global conflict if Russia and China are aligned against us. And by the way, Russia is a Christian country, a remarkable country, a very serious country that we have a lot in common with, whether you like it or not. Oh, he's bad. Okay, stop. We need Russia. And the only reason we are not in alliance with Russia is because the foreign policy establishment in the United States, the weapons manufacturers, and particularly the neocons, believe that they somehow own Russia or want to retake Russia or something, and Putin is in the way. He kicked out the oligarchs. That was gravely offensive to the American finance establishment and to the American foreign policy establishment, and acted on his own country's behalf. Whatever. None of that even matters at this point. Ignore these people. He has to be our enemy? No. If Putin is our enemy, if Russia is our enemy, we cannot survive a global conflict.
That's an interesting outlook.
Yes. And, you know, as someone who has strong ties to Russia, I think that would be wonderful if the two countries came back together and actually cooperated. We do have a lot in common, and can have a very powerful relationship that can benefit both sides.
Well, yeah, and you know, Tucker referred to a global conflict a couple times there. Unfortunately, in a global conflict, there will be no winners, and that's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
But it's very thought-provoking.
It is, yes, and that's what I like. You know,
Yeah.
I tried to express it last hour. I do challenge myself on purpose sometimes to listen to these people, just so that I can expand a little my thinking, because it's so easy to get sucked into the social media headline world, where you hear a headline, especially if it's the one you like, and then you live thinking that that's how the world works. Well, ask questions.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny because you may mention social media headlines. It's also, you know, news media headlines.
Yeah.
They suck you in with those. So yeah, good point. All right.
All right. Well, he mentioned gold and silver and the value of dollar. Let's see how those are doing right now. Stock market, I think, is open, even though the snow is falling, which they're probably used to that in New York. Yeah, yep, it's all green, unlike what we see outside. Dow is up 312 points. Wow. NASDAQ is at 22,800, and S&P is up 59 points. And thanks to Smart Lawn and Preston Dara for providing this market report for us this morning. Gold, silver, and crude oil are all up. Silver is at $77. Gold is a little over 5,017, and crude oil is at $68.
Obviously, Wall Street is very happy that it's crab stuffed flounder day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big day.
I was gonna be more serious and say the Iran talks. Let's go with the crab flounder.
Crab stuffed flounder all the way. And you know what? We missed Hillary in the first hour. Maybe we should skip her again and bring her back tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah, we got time, and then we'll
I
take
don't
a
think
little
she'll
break.
be offended.
And come back and get a little news.
Let's do that.
We'll be back after this.
Life is never ending. Your words bring us love that never fails. Everything else will fade away, but one will remain.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express, breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
When technology slows you down, your business and your life feels it. That's where Rogue Tech Pros comes in. We provide business technology services, managed IT services, and custom phone systems for businesses and homes. Our award-winning team takes time to understand your unique needs and builds a customized plan to keep your systems running smoothly so you can focus on growing your business while we handle the IT headaches. Find us at roguetechpros.com. roguetechpros.com. We keep IT simple.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
These are people who are saved, but they don't live like they're saved. In fact, you can't tell the difference between their lifestyle and that of the average non-believer. They are carnal Christians. I'm here to tell you, no such category of Christians exists today. No permanent category. Yes, Paul says in 1 Corinthians 3 that sometimes Christians act carnally. They act as people in the flesh, but that is not a permanent, acceptable condition for somebody who claims to be a follower of God. There are not three kinds of people in the world, there are just two. Those who follow Christ and those who disobey Christ. Those who take Christ's words seriously and obey them, and those who reject Christ's words, either openly or in their own heart while they mouth something else. The test of our faith is whether or not we obey Christ. Our commitment to the cause of Christ reflects our commitment to Christ.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Welcome back to the morning show. It is 7:35 Pacific time, right? Did I say it right?
You got it right.
Okay, I don't know why. For a second, I just thought, like, I got distracted seeing us on TV. I forget sometimes that we're on TV. Should stop watching it.
But bottom line is you're right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, good. Can I record that and just play for myself? You're right.
Over and
You're
over
right?
again.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's check in with CBN News to see what's happening in the Middle East.
In Jerusalem, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told American Jewish leaders President Trump wants to exhaust the possibilities of a deal with Iran, which he thinks he can achieve now.
I will not hide from you that I express my
skepticism of any deal with Iran because, frankly, Iran is reliable on one thing. They lie and they cheat.
Netanyahu says any deal must include several components for the security of Israel, the U.S., the region, and the world.
First is that all enriched material has to leave Iran. The second is that there shall be no enrichment capability. And the third is to deal also with the questions of ballistic missiles. And the fourth is dismantle the axis of terror that Iran has built.
On Friday, a senior Iranian official reiterated that Iran's missile program is non-negotiable and said the Iranian military remains on high alert. Trump said Iran only wants to talk but not take action. When asked, he indicated he also favors a regime change.
Well, it seems like that would be the best thing that could happen.
Trump is also sending a second aircraft carrier, the largest in the world, to the region. The USS Gerald R. Ford will join the USS Abraham Lincoln as the second round of mediated talks between the U.S. and Iran are set to begin in Geneva on Tuesday. Secretary of State Marco Rubio noted that no one has ever made a successful deal with Iran, but they are trying.
I'm not going to talk about attacks on Iran or anything of that nature because the president's made clear he prefers diplomacy and an outcome of negotiated settlement. Now, we're dealing with radical Shia clerics, okay? We're dealing with people who make geopolitical decisions on the basis of pure theology, and it's a complicated thing.
Iran's exiled crown prince, Reza Pahlavi, called on Trump to take action.
To President Trump, you've deployed a massive armada and have signaled unmistakably that brutality's time is ending. The Iranian people heard you say help is on the way, and they have faith in you.
Speaking on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, Pahlavi said it's time to end the Islamic Republic and not try to fix the regime.
I don't think these negotiations will amount to anything. The regime is simply buying time yet again, but every day that goes by, more people could die.
Hundreds of thousands joined protests around the world calling for regime change in Iran, with the biggest crowds in Munich, Los Angeles, and Toronto.
We support the Iranian people. We are Iranian. We support everybody for the freedom. And then if the people around the world, they want the world without the terrorists, the best choice is they support the Iranian people now.
After those rallies, anti-government chants reportedly were heard from balconies and windows in cities across Iran.
After weeks of U.S. military buildup in the Middle East, the United States and Iran are engaging in the next round of high-stakes talks today in Geneva, and it could determine whether the region moves forward in diplomacy or conflict. Iran's foreign minister met with the head of the UN nuclear watchdog Monday. The top Iranian diplomat posted on X that he brought real ideas for a deal, but said what is not on the table was submission before threats. President Trump says he'll be indirectly involved in those talks.
I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
In Jerusalem, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham met with Prime Minister Netanyahu and U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee, saying an American decision on action against Iran is weeks, not months away.
The best answer to all the problems created by Iran is regime change. The best answer is for the people to take the place of the Ayatollah.
Holding a Make Iran Great Again cap, Graham says the U.S. must deliver on its pledge to help Iranian protesters.
We're on the verge of eliminating the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the region. And with the fall of Iran comes the fall of Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis. Normalization becomes far more likely.
Meanwhile, both Iran and the U.S. flexing their military muscle. Iran's Revolutionary Guard released video of a large naval exercise in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. responded with its own video of naval firepower, while the Air Force ordered more bunker-busting bombs. And in Gaza, Israel is issuing an ultimatum. In coordination with the Trump administration, the IDF is giving Hamas 60 days to disarm, including some 60,000 AK-47s used in the October 7th massacre. If Hamas refuses, Israel warns a full-scale war will resume.
My goodness. So right now it's a war of videos. Iran posts their video of their naval exercise. We post video of our naval exercises, and it's like, okay, now what?
We'll see what's. You never know what's happening in the background and what kind of negotiations. And I hope that they do.
Interesting comments though from Lindsey Graham. Basically, it's about regime change. That's it.
Well, that's what he wants. But we talked about yesterday. I don't know. I can't think of one regime change that we've participated in that is successful. Can you?
No. You know, you look at Gaddafi in Libya, and that place is just
ruins.
Terrible.
I mean, Iraq. And see what's happening in Gaza is destroyed. And I know we haven't gone there yet, but I'm just thinking that it's.
Yeah, he made a good point though about Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis. You know, you get rid of Iran, you get rid of them.
But do you, or are they so independent that they'll still be there?
They need funding. Without Iran, they don't exist.
And so Iran is, would it be but is it a centralized funding like that, you think?
Oh, they're the ones that get, because they are the central funder of terrorism throughout the region, period. That's where the money comes from.
And the United States sometimes.
Well, terrorism with the United States?
Oh, sometimes. We've seen people supporting Iran and supporting, where money goes into the Middle East, and we don't know exactly where it's going.
Oh, I see what you're going to, but not the government of the United States.
Right.
Okay, all right.
So,
okay.
I don't know.
I hope not.
I hope not, but there's another interest. Speaking of alternative interviews. Sean Ryan has a podcast.
Okay.
It's another one I watch sometimes. And he has this lady on. Her name is Sarah Adams. And she talks a lot about terrorism and what's happening in Iran and what's happening with all these different fractions. She's very knowledgeable in all that, and including funding, who funds it and how. And so I'm not going to speak on her behalf, but if you're interested, Sarah Adams, check her out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Weather. It's happening outside.
Yes, it is.
That's a very interesting subject. So let's see what's going on there.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With wintry conditions continuing across our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain and snow with daytime highs near 44 for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of rain and snow, then rain showers this afternoon with highs in the mid-40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with rain and snow continuing tonight. In central Oregon, a slight chance of snow in near 38 in Prineville, a chance of snow in near 34 in Bend, and snow likely in low 30s in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, snow showers in near 40. Rain showers along the Oregon coast with a chance of snow flurries in some spots and daytime highs in the mid to upper 40s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, winter storm warnings continue for the Rogue Valley with rain and snow and highs in the upper 30s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, a chance of snow in near 33 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, a chance of snow in near 38 in Wairika, rain and snow in Redding with a high near 46, rain with gusty winds and a high near 46 in Chico and Sacramento with a high near 50. In the Bay Area, rain with patchy fog and a high near 51 in Santa Rosa, rain for Napa with a high near 51 and San Francisco near 53, and today in San Jose, rain and patchy fog with a high near 52. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
There it is. This is off of Roxanne, I believe. I don't know which direction, because I don't see any Medford down there, but maybe we're looking to the east.
Well,
that could be. But
there's life out there.
There is life out there. There is snow out there. There's more on the way. So be careful.
And it just got trashed in the New York Times. It's just unacceptable.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could listen to that guy.
I know.
My goodness.
Thank God that there are some recordings.
Yes. Yeah.
Not enough, though. Not enough. I wish there were more.
Are there any outlets or anything that are playing the best of Rush? I mean, you talk about Charlie Kirk is still, one of the top podcasters.
Well, Charlie Kirk has a lot of videos,
But I imagine every show that Rush did was recorded. I was wondering, but it's very topical. It was very topical.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a library somewhere.
Yeah.
I remember when I was producing the show and looking for clips, it was hard to find full shows.
Oh.
So they weren't posted. So there probably are somewhere.
Maybe.
They're just not out there, which is great. You keep them close and then you release a little bit. There's a method to everything.
Yep.
All right, well, coming up, we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? Stuff. We'll be back.
Okay.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? When you want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life, call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
For some people, the single greatest discouraging factor in their life is their perceived lack of forward movement in God. There are many Christians that feel stagnant, and they're generally self-condemned. They don't need the devil to condemn them, they're self-condemned. Let me assure you, my friend, the Lord is not through with you. He is working in you. Philippians 1:6 says, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. He's begun the work. He'll carry it on until the day of Christ's return. He's not going to give up on you. He's not going to cast you aside. Psalm 138 and verse 8 says, the Lord will perfect that which concerns me.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Back to the morning show. It's snowy outside. I'm looking at pictures.
I'm looking out the window here. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I still see it. Still coming down lightly. Yeah, it's nice we get a little view of it here. Oh, wait a minute. All I have to do is look behind me. Oh, yeah, it's still coming down.
Fake news.
Yeah. Well, this is really sweet. Every afternoon around 3 o'clock in Cleveland, construction workers on an upper floor of a new hospital building stop what they're doing, and they stop for one very special reason. Check this out.
They look toward a nearby hospital window and form heart shapes with their hands. On the other side of the glass, 4-year-old Brinley Weiselek smiles and makes a heart right back. Brinley has spent more than 100 days at Cleveland Children's Clinic waiting for a heart transplant. A mechanical pump known as a Berlin heart is helping keep her alive while she waits. The connection started with a simple flashlight signal from her dad, and when workers flashed back, a daily tradition was born. Soon there were handmade signs like "Get well soon" and "Keep fighting." The crew even brought gifts, coloring books, games, and even a stuffed bear twice her size. One carpenter said, "We build hospitals to help people heal, but seeing Brinley made it personal."
You know, it really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And I think a lot of the guys around here felt the same. And that connection started growing every day.
Each wave is a reminder that healing isn't just medical. Sometimes it's human, and sometimes it starts with a flashlight.
It is so touching. It was evening, and her dad had shined a flashlight over to the new building, and a light came back, and that started the connection. You know, but what really got me there too was the tough construction worker, hearing the emotion in his voice.
Like a big soft bear,
yeah.
Big bear. That reminded me, my aunt works with cancer patients in Moscow, and I went to visit her kids. And what fascinated me when I was there, they have no idea how much they have left, but they're so joyful. They find joy in the pen that they get to write with, in a toy they get to play with. And it was such an example for me to be joyful in the moment and be grateful for what you have, because those kids are just precious.
All right, well, let's take this verse with us today. Philippians chapter 1, verse 6, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Fish Lake Resort has everything you need to make fun memories and traditions all winter long. Join us every Saturday night for prime rib dinner. Explore our scenic winter trails. Enjoy some great fishing, or spend all day playing in the snow, and then settle in for a cozy night in one of our warm winter cabins. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to plan your visit.
Wednesday, from the Netflix survival competition Outlast.
Bears are good. Leader's my boy.
Where contestants spend a month in the Alaskan wilderness.
As long as we focus on food, firewood, and water, we'll be all right.
Meet the outdoorsman who used more than his skills to get an edge.
Y'all got knowledge, y'all got YouTube, y'all got book smarts. Cool. I lean on God.
Wednesday on the 700 Club.
Watch the 700 Club Wednesday morning at 11 on the Dove TV. You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco and
welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Been looking forward to our special guest today for quite some time because he's got the experience and he knows. I'm talking about Jim Renacci. He's a former U.S. Congressman from Ohio's 16th District, a longtime entrepreneur, raised in western Pennsylvania, and he was the first in his family to graduate from college and then later moved to Ohio, where he built more than 60 businesses and created over 1,500 jobs. And then after the Obama administration's 2009 GM takeover forced closure of his dealership, and then he ran for Congress and was elected in 2010. In Washington, he served as the Financial Services, Ways and Means, and the Budget Committee. So he's pretty much in the know there. He does have a website, Jim Renacci, and that's spelled RENACCI.com, and there's the picture of the landing page. Congressman, good to see you again, friend. How are you?
Good. Good morning, Terry. How are you?
Good. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time. By the way, are you cold up there in Ohio?
It's cold. There's no doubt about it, but that's living in Ohio.
That's living in Ohio. Well, a lot to talk about. How do you think that the riots in Minneapolis and basically Minnesota with all of its problems are going to play out in the midterm?
Well, you know what? I've been doing a lot of interviews, and I tell everybody everything right now is a concern for the midterms. When the members of the House and the members of the Senate are making decisions, they're making decisions based on how's this going to affect the midterms? How are we going to be presented in the midterms? So, of course, The riots in Minneapolis are definitely an issue for the midterms, and mainly because, say this all the time, Republicans have not left President Trump. Democrats definitely have, but independents have walked away from President Trump, an alarming number. And I think that's got to be the big issue for President Trump going forward.
What is the independence issue for leaving Trump?
Well, look, I think they came on board with him in November of 2024 at about 64%. They're sitting at about 30% right now. Some polls show 27%. I don't believe they have a problem with what he's trying to get accomplished. I do believe they have a problem with how he's doing it. And that seems to be the biggest issue right now for not only the midterms, but for President Trump.
What we see in Minnesota, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities there, is pretty alarming. How close are we to mob rule?
Well, let's face it, peaceful protest is one thing. Doing what they're doing in Minneapolis is another thing. You know, getting in the middle of things, kicking cars. You know, this is a problem. This is where the police, I think this is the big issue that President Trump has said. The local police, they should be the ones administering and making sure that this isn't going on. But of course, they've been told to stand down, which is a problem. And it's really the ICE agents against the world right now.
The president said yesterday that he now wants to pull the ICE agents out of these cities where the demonstrations are taking place. Basically, I think what he's saying, maybe you know more about it, we're not going to go after these bad people. We're going to see what you do about it, but we're still going to protect federal buildings. Or did I misread that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've also saw the president say we're not going to pull back. So there's a little, one of the problems in Washington many times is there's really mixed messaging, and it's confusing at best, especially in this year. Again, everything that's being done this year is in regards to the midterms.
All right, I want to come back to your experience. How many terms did you serve there?
I served 4 terms.
All right. Then now you're a recovering politician.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, when you talk about a businessman going to Washington, it's a misplaced person. I was very frustrated, used to getting things done, found that nothing gets accomplished until you go right to the end. Yep. And even then, you barely get things accomplished. So I'm seeing it. It was very frustrating for me, and something that I decided to leave because I couldn't see an end to this circle of always having problems and never having answers, especially long-term answers.
Yeah. All right, I want to kind of pull on your acumen there, especially from the experience and your business experience and serving on the Ways and Means Committee. Where are we with the shutdown, and where do you think this is going to go?
Well, to give Congress credit, especially the House, they passed 6 appropriation bills. There's 12 appropriation bills in total. 6 were passed, went fully through the House, got approved by the Senate, and the President signed those. Now you have 6 remaining. Again, I'll give credit to the House. They passed them, moved them over to the Senate, and then the Senate said, well, wait a minute. DHS funding is a problem. We want to see some changes. And of course, timing is everything because it was right after the shootings in Minneapolis. So the American people are now watching, and the Democrats feel they have an edge. So they said, we want changes in Department of Homeland Security funding, and we want specific things to occur, body cams. And so we are not going to approve that 6th appropriation bill, but here's what we'll do. We'll vote to approve the other 5, and we'll put the other DHS funding in a 14-day CR, which and gives us time to negotiate. And the White House was okay with that. The Senate was okay with that. So they passed it. Now it's back in the House, and game on's there because, the House, the Republican majority has such a small majority that it doesn't take more than 1 or 2 people to stop this. But I'm hoping today they can pass this, which will reopen everything, allow DHS funding to continue, But here's the problem, Terry. In less than 2 weeks now, the Friday before President's Day break, as they call it in Washington, this is going to come to an end. And as everything in Washington happens, as my frustrations were, I don't think they'll have a solution by next Friday. And we'll either go into another shutdown or they'll do another temporary 2 week extension of the DHS funding, which is the way things work in Washington. My frustration is right there. I wouldn't if I was Speaker of the House, nobody would leave. And if I was President of the Senate, nobody would leave, even though it's President's Day weekend. But they're going to leave because both the House and Senate have big fundraising. That President's Day weekend is always a big fundraising opportunity for the parties, including the Democrats, and they will all be at their fundraising events that weekend. They will not be in Washington.
Given to your frustration, I get it. I mean, us business guys, we make decisions and have to live with them. The whole budget process in the United States seems to be, and I say this respectfully, I don't know what other term to use, but it seems to be a scam. Why are we constantly doing these CRs to keep the government open? Why can't we? I mean, the last balanced budget we had was Clinton. What happened to us?
Well, and even that, if you go back, even the Clinton balanced budget was not a balanced budget. There was a budget voted on that was not balanced. President Clinton got the advantage of the Y2000. And if everybody looks back, you'll see that revenues shot up tremendously because of the Y2000 economic boom. Expenses actually shot up as well in the federal government, but there was a net increase of revenues more than expenditures. And Clinton got the, he gets the accolades for a balanced budget. It really wasn't a balanced budget. It was luck that occurred because balancing the budget is very, very difficult. And until members of the House and Senate realize that the only way you're going to balance the budget is to look at the drivers of the debt, which is Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and interest. Without looking at those, you will never balance the budget. And those are sacred. The real problem is you're not going to get reelected if you start talking about those issues.
How do you feel the president's economic policies are working?
Well, look, I'm not a tariff person. I never was. I wasn't a tariff person back in 2017. I think one of the biggest issues for the president right now is the costs in the grocery store are still very expensive. I did a social media post the other day. My wife had went to Walmart, filled up a cart, and I took a picture of it. And I said, "How much do you think the cost of this grocery cart was?" And people were saying 250, 300, 350. 95% of the people who posted on social media were wrong. It was $427, which shows you that the cost, people are not realizing it, and they got to pay attention to it. And I think that's one of the problems President Trump's going to have, is people, especially the middle class, are struggling when it comes to paying for their groceries. Their utility bills are skyrocketing. And these are two issues that are really coming to fruition right now, which is going to cause President Trump issues with his economic policies.
So in the meantime, the Democrats have captured a word that resonates called affordability, and that plays right into what you just said. But the president's counting on his economic policies now that they start to kick in, that hopefully this will kind of pan out between now and, say, June or July. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting. You know, they keep talking about the tax bill and how we passed the largest tax cut in history. Well, that's just not true. That was passed in 2017. What Congress did in 2025 was they extended it. So I'm not too sure you're going to see a big boom from the tax bill, but you're going to continue to hear people say, we passed the largest tax cut in history. No, they didn't. They extended the largest tax cut in history. There are a couple things that they added, like the no tax on tips, which affects very few people. And the no tax on Social Security, which really isn't a no tax on Social Security, it's just an additional deduction for people over 65, which will give them some flexibility. So to say that that's going to be the boom in the economy, I'm a little worried about that. The tariffs are finally kicking in a lot of places. I mean, I went and looked at a new car the other day, and I can tell you that I walked away from buying a new car because of the tariff costs that have now kicked in. So I think the president's answer still doesn't fix the pocketbook. It doesn't fix that 50% of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck, 25% of them who are barely making ends meet, and 60% of them that have less than $1,000 in their bank account. Those are the people that are going to go out and vote come November. And he's got to make sure, this president has to make sure that they have something they can claim is good for them.
What do you think it is?
Well, gas prices. And I think you can keep talking about gas prices, but keep in mind, gas prices go down when you have an economic slowdown. They go up when you have an economic boom. So they're coming down, but I think in the end, we do have an economic slowdown. Nobody wants to talk about all of the jobs being lost. And by the way, they're being lost to AI. If you look at all these companies, all these big companies, Walmart, all the companies that move stuff through now that can do it computerized, Amazon, I was thinking of, they have cut thousands and thousands and thousands of employees. That's why the unemployment rate's going up, even though the economy is not sinking at the same time, which eventually that's going to catch up.
The Democrats' message, Congressman, seems to be anything but Trump. I mean, their real message is Trump, hate Trump. They don't seem to have any other message other than Trump's a bad person. Is that winnable?
Well, they must think it is. Again, what I learned in politics is when you find a message that works, you keep talking about it. And I think that's why they're going to continue to say that. I mean, Trump's favorability, President Trump's favorability, like I say, it's the lowest in any presidential person at this term. I think it's 37% on some polls, 40%. That's a real problem. And I think the more they convince independents, who now make up a very large portion of the voting bloc, that anybody but Trump, they're going to do okay. Look at the election in Texas. That district, that Senate district, I believe, Trump won by 17 percentage points, and a Democrat won by 14 this past weekend. I mean, that's a real problem. Because if you look at the Democrats' policies, their positions, you're exactly right. They're not even singing in the same hymnal, and that's one of their problems. They're so divided, but they're not divided on anybody but Trump. And I think to them, they believe that's their winning message.
All right, let me take a quick break here. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out the Congressman's website, Jim Renacci. That's RENACCI.com. There's a picture of his landing page. Let me take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Welcome back, and honored to have with us today former Congressman Jim Renacci. Is a U.S. Congressman from Ohio's 16th District, and calling upon his experience, not only as a businessman, but his time in Congress. A lot to talk about. Congressman, I just kind of want to cut to what seems to be the problem, and there's never a nice way to deal with it. And that is, now, well, let me back up a little bit and say this. I was chairman of our state for quite a few years, and I've watched in Oregon where the I's are way up and the D's and the R's are way down in voter registration. So it looks like the discomfort and the frustration with both parties is becoming a major problem for both of them, and the I's are sitting out there, and that becomes the voting bloc that somehow you have to attract. It appears to me that people like what the president is attempting to do, and they like his policy, and they may even understand it, and they're willing to give him some time and space to accomplish it. But he seems to unwind it with his own personality. That becomes the problem. The way he handles people, the way he criticizes people, and it looks like he may be creating his own fatigue factor. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely fair. 100% agree with you. I think our polling shows that a large percentage of people like what he's trying to get done. They just don't like how he's doing it. They don't like the name calling. They don't like some of the things that's going on. And by the way, the Republican Party is suffering from that. I mean, in Ohio, people call Ohio a red state, but Ohio's registration is 72% independents right now. The Republicans are at about 23%. The Democrats are about 21%, whatever those numbers are. But 72% of registered voters in Ohio are saying, we don't want to be part of either of these parties. And some of it's because of, not what President Trump's trying to accomplish, but what he's saying and how he's doing it has become a real problem.
How's fundraising for Republicans? Are they suffering in fundraising?
I do believe that, although if you look on the national level, they seem to be doing well. But you got to remember, when your president is a Republican, you're always going to do better. But nationally, Republicans appear to be doing much better than Democrats. In Ohio, I'm not sure that's the case. I think Republicans have become fatigued in Ohio, and we'll see. I mean, the positive thing in Ohio is we have a vice president in J.D. Vance. The negative thing in Ohio is we have a vice president, J.D. Vance. And I say that because there are people that just aren't happy in the Republican Party. And, it becomes a focal point many times between J.D. Vance and President Trump.
In the meantime, former presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton have publicly encouraged protest movements. Does that backfire for the D's?
It's amazing because in politics, it's always been said, when somebody is committing suicide, just step aside and let it go in a political campaign. Now, I don't want that to be taken as a virtual suicide, but in many ways, President Trump's remarks are causing what I call in the election process suicide, or you would think it'd be best just to step aside and let it go on. So when you get, President Clinton and President Obama saying, hey, let's do protests. I'm not sure if that's helpful or not. I think in the end, let him continue to do what he's doing. What I do find, though, is I think President Trump gets agitated with these things. And I think that's probably more of what they're attempting to do, is agitate him more than drive up, the protests.
He's demonstrated already that he's planning on barnstorming the country over the next 10 months or so, and I get that. In the meantime, he and Elon Musk have, made amends, and Elon Musk gave over $300 million in the last election cycle, and he could be way above that this go-around. Are those factors, do you think?
Well, I think they are. Again, but what you find is the old days of President Trump barnstorming around the country, there was independents, there were Democrats, there were Republicans, all showing up at his events. The real problem today is, if you notice the events, they're in smaller venues, there's not as many people, and it's the pure Republican bloc that's showing up. Because in many cases, I mean, I hate to say this, there are people in business, in politics, all across the country that do not want to be associated with some of this stuff because it'll affect their business. We are a divided country. Mm-hmm. And people are saying, you know what, I'm not too sure I want to be on that bandwagon right now. So I'm not sure it's going to be as helpful, but I do know he needs to get the message out. He has the largest microphone in the country, and he needs to be able to get the message out. But if you're going to go out and tell people, hey, grocery prices are down, and they're leaving Walmart with a $427 cart, it's hard for them to agree with what he's saying.
The Republican that left and went and became an independent, to your point, from what I'm seeing, and I'm not in it like I used to, but the point being is that they've left because they don't like the party, they don't like the politics, and they don't necessarily like the way the president is doing it, but at the end, they like what he's doing. And if it's anybody but Trump, do they really give up their conservative roots and go left, or they vote for Trump without being identified to him?
Well, no, it's going to be interesting. I hear more than anything, you vote for the lesser. I used to hear you vote for the lesser of two evils, but the problem is, I think that's going away now as well, because when both sides are presenting an evil person, there are people walking away and not showing up. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happened just recently in the 2025 elections. And I can tell you in the state of Ohio, Democrats won council seats in cities that are as red as can be, but the Republicans aren't showing up. And I think that's going to be the real issue in 2026, is getting Republicans energized. Because right now, Democrats are energized. They're coming out to vote, and they're going to vote like they did in 2025 and 2026. Republicans need to be energized as well.
The closing of the border, is that no longer an issue?
Well, I think that President Trump has done an excellent job there. And I think people, if you ask people, do they like what President Trump did in closing the border, you're going to get 85% saying absolutely. You're going to get Democrats, independents. You're going to get them all saying the same thing. So I don't think it's an issue anymore because it's not a problem.
All right. Finally, Congressman, you're back into the business world. What do you want to see the president do? I mean, what will advance your drive in life?
You know, it's interesting. From the business perspective, we need certainty and predictability. And I can tell you that we do not have certainty and predictability. We don't know what our Fed chair is going to do, the new Fed chair. We don't know what the tariffs, how long they're going to be, who has the highest tariff, who has the lowest tariff. We don't know in many ways, our price is going to come down. Is inflation going to go up? There are so many uncertainties that I think the business owner, and I talk to many business owners, they're just begging for certainty and predictability, something that we don't have right now. And that's a real issue for the business community today and going forward. Where is that certainty and predictability that we need to run our businesses?
What do you think about cryptocurrency?
You know what? I think it's scary. I know the president, the vice president, a bunch of senators have all jumped on it as something that is good. But when I hear that there's a center in Austin, Texas, that you walk in, there's only one person there who's the janitor, and there's thousands of computers all lined up on racks, and that's what's controlling the cryptocurrency. I have a real fear in that. And basically, I hope something like that never really grows and becomes our national currency, which I do think there are some people in Washington want it. But people have to understand that currency is being driven by a bunch of computers in a data center off in Austin and other places in the country. That's not the way currency should be manipulated, because as we all know, it would just take one programming change to change that currency any which way you want.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think it's, I've watched people get involved in it and they think it's great, and then next day they're broke because it seems to be emotional based upon nothing that of substance.
Well, keep in mind the dollar bill has no backing either, but at least it's supported by almost every country in the world as the currency of the world. And that's what gives it the power that we have. If we go to crypto, countries don't jump on board, and they jump on board with the Chinese currency, we could be in serious, serious problems here in the United States. So I think it's a gamble we should not be gambling in.
Congressman, thank you for your time. You're inspiring. Let me share to our viewers and listeners, check out his website, Jim Renacci. That's RENACCI.com. There's a picture of his landing page. Thanks for your service. Stay in the fight. We need you, buddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
All right. God bless.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and joy. It's your season to shine. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 4 p.m. on the Dove TV. More at thedove.us.
Welcome back. And, well, listen, I have to tell you, it's always an honor to have our good friend, Pastor Mark Little, with us. I can't say enough about this brother and his work and his passion and his heart. He is the executive director of Cure America Action. And you can go to cure-action.com is the website of his ministry. He's a frontline advocate. He loves the Lord. He's a preacher. He's a pastor. And he's just a good friend. And when I saw our topic today, I have to tell you, Mark, my heart kind of stopped. How are you, brother? Good to see you.
Happy New Year. I've been wondering when I was going to be
with you. I'm glad you didn't let February come. I'm good.
Good. Well,
I
can't start the year without you, man. I can't do that.
I don't have any complaints, Perry. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Often we kind of survey those who listen and watch the Dove radio and TV and who is it? And we have found out some interesting information. There are those who are the seekers. In other words, they're testing Christianity, and media is kind of a safe place to go where you can listen and look without anybody knowing you're doing that. We also know a lot of people who can't just get out to church for various reasons, various circumstances, and we become their spiritual connection. But then there's this other group, and this is the group that's been hurt by the church. And they use our ministry as a means to stay connected to something spiritual. And when I have drilled down on that group, and you as a pastor, you've done it, I've done some lay counseling, it's very real. When people have been hurt by the church, it's a different pain. It's a different sting. And when you talk about church hurt, what are you trying to describe to us?
Sure. Thank you for bringing it up. I did a show on my podcast, The Mark Little Show, which comes out every Friday morning, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Perry, it came out of my experience. A couple of years ago, I was running a very large church in Southern California, and I was also the general counsel. So I would get calls from people, and one time I got a call from a guy who asked me a question. He was going through a divorce, and because of my position, I decided I wasn't going to help people get divorced anymore, but I gave him some information. And then 10 years later, we asked his wife to be a part of our intercessory ministry, which is called No Longer Bound, Abortion and Miscarriage Recovery Ministry, which is a ministry that I'm the pastor over. And he said to my wife, I won't be able to let my wife do that until I speak with Pastor Mark. I said, oh, sure, fine. Have him come to the meeting, and I'll be happy to speak with him. Well, he pulled me out into the hallway. And he said to me, for 10 years, I've been watching you come to church Sunday in and Sunday out, and I've been looking at you with great disdain because of what you said to me the time that we had that phone call 10 years ago. Now, I didn't say anything in particular that was harsh or mean. He just didn't like what I said. But the point is that he'd been carrying aught for 10 years. And because of my position as the number 2 in the church, he was hurt by the church. We have so many people sitting in our pews who are bleeding. I had a gathering of my leaders at the end of one of our intensive weekends where we walk men and women through the pain and shame of abortion and miscarriage. And so we get together and we debrief, and I get a chance to minister to them as leaders. And after we administered, one person had church hurt from the senior pastor, and something said to me, find out how many others have it so that we can pray. Well, out of the about 40 leaders, 39 came forward for prayer. That's a problem. So that was the impetus. And so I did a series on church hurt. The first episode was to those who are hurting. The second is to those pastors who in many instances don't know, which was my condition, or are inaccessible or don't care. And it is a big deal because people, they leave the faith. If the devil can keep us out of fellowship, doing bedside Baptist church on Sunday, when we're able-bodied and able to be with the saints, if he can do that, then what we do, we start church hopping. We start cherry picking who we're going to listen to. Well, he sounds good, and I like her over here, and I like his doctrine over there. And now we are mixing doctrine. We're missing covering, and now we're spiritually confused. And we have fallen into that, especially since COVID. And so in a combination with having church hurt, the devil is also leading us away from sound doctrine. And we know we're in the season where we will endure false prophets and doctrines of demons. And that's what we're getting now.
Okay, leave it to you to put a biggie on the table. I want to come back to something that you said. It seems to me that the person who has been hurt and is carrying that pain, but still chooses to remain in fellowship with the Lord, has something that they need to take care of, because they're still taking communion, and they shouldn't do that. If we believe the scriptures, if we believe what we believe, and you have aught in your heart, the scripture's pretty clear about that. But if this fellow went on for 10 years, is that a indication why some of our churches are ineffective and impotent because we have violated one of the ordinances of the church?
It indeed is a sacrament. Of course, you're right, but it speaks to a broader issue, which is we have lukewarm churches. And church on Sunday has become an event. It's become a social gathering for most, not all, but for most. I can't remember the last time a senior pastor or preacher said what you just said. Of course, I'm aware of that. And so it's a reflection of what we're getting, what's being poured. We've become a cultural institution. We've become an institution that is centered on community, but not necessarily on the word.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're absolutely right about that. And by the way, that's not the only issue, because we're not teaching Matthew 18. We're not teaching people how to walk that out, so that when it comes time to have communion, you know the avenue by which to have it resolved.
Mm-hmm.
What made him think he couldn't approach me? He could have gone to somebody who he perceived had access to me. I'm sitting there every Sunday on the aisle. Mm-hmm. You walk right up, So we're not being taught how to resolve conflict biblically. We're not being taught the importance of that. And here's the other thing we're not being taught. Christianity, especially now, but it's been so for over 2,000 years, we are warriors. We're warriors, and we're walking wounded.
Mm.
Whether by molestation, whether by the church, whether by a spouse that is mean and evil and beats us, whether by just call the roll of the things in life, whether sin we committed or sin committed against us. So many of us are walking wounded. And in the Black culture, therapy is just now becoming something that we'll even do. No longer bound is multicultural, but we have more Black people than ever before because we don't even talk about the pain of abortion in the Black community. So imagine, and we are 7% of our population is responsible for 44% of the abortions in America. Now, there's a small percentage of those women and men who don't have any regret, but most of them do, and they're walking around wounded. Shame, you know what shame does? Having an abortion oftentimes is a mistake, but shame says, I am the mistake.
Hmm.
And what do you do with that? I'm still with you on the topic of church hurt and what do these people do and what is the church doing about it? The church doesn't talk about pain in that way. The church talks about God is a cosmic bellhop. You can't get your bills paid, but come on down to the altar. And we're going to teach you how to walk and name it and claim it. That's what we're focused on, seeker-sensitive messages. You said something about people who are seeking, but there's another side of that. People are seeking what makes them feel good. And unfortunately, we've got these monstrosities of churches and pastors who got to keep that offering plate filled. So they're preaching seeker-sensitive messages, and that's what turns into a lukewarm church.
Let me ask you this question, and then we can deal with it after the break. Given what you just said, gosh, I'm not even sure if I know how to ask this, but is the seeker-sensitive doctrine, so to speak, if I can give it that word, or teaching, isn't that spiritual abuse?
It's not only spiritual abuse, which I think is the end result, but it is a display of incompetency. I think it's a display that the person wasn't really called, because that's not the whole counsel of God. I love T.W. Tozer talks about that. He said, if you can't stand and fulfill your calling, then you have no right to be in the pulpit. And so it's just, it becomes a grift. It becomes a job for you to preach, get people to shout and clap and feel good about the day so they can go to brunch and then have a hellish week and come back again for the entertainment on Sunday. People need to be challenged in their faith. People need to be directed about what being a warrior looks like, whether you're a man or a woman. We are warriors for the kingdom. We're ambassadors for the kingdom. He says, put on the whole armor. That is a military metaphor. Mm-hmm. We're here to fight and to bring, God says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. That's our assignment.
All right, let me take a quick break. Aren't you glad, ladies and gentlemen, that Mark's on our side? All right, we'll take a quick break. Check out his website, cure-action.com. There's a picture of the landing page. Support him. Keep him out there on the front line. We'll be right back.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
You really have sort of the wireframe, if you will, the template of how to pray. First of all, it's your Father who art in heaven. Yes, he's God. Yes, he's all powerful. But guess what? He's your Father. And he's your Father who loves you. Jesus said, it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. We don't follow a stingy God. We don't follow an angry God. God is not mad at you. God is mad about you. And he can't keep his eyes off of you. And he wants to hear from you. My Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It's great to offer worship and praise to God when you pray. Thank him for what he has already done and ask for his will in your life.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. Ministries on the Move spotlights the incredible work of how God is using everyday people and organizations, putting their faith into action, serving the hurting, strengthening families, and sharing the hope of the gospel in practical ways. Be inspired and discover these ministries on the move. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m., right here on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
Welcome back, and always an honor to have with us our good friend Pastor Mark Little with us. He's the Executive Director of Cure America Action, and you can check out his website, cure-action.com. There's a picture of the landing page, and he's out there in so many ways. Support him, keep him out there. Mark, we're dealing with the term called church hurt and how people have been hurt by the church, and this is a real issue, and there's a lot to be said here, and I don't want to overdo it or underdo it. But do you think people, and let me back up and say lately, a lot of A lot of ministries have been exposed and are falling left and right. It's sad to see. I mean, it's alarming, but for various reasons. And the church is being hurt by all of this. The church is being hurt by pastors and leaders and people who've done bad things and covered it up. Do you think the church for the seeker is seen as a safe place?
Well, I think the honest answer is yes and no. For some, it has become a place of great pain that leads them away from faith. And that's happened. People have been molested, abused. I've had people come through our ministry suffering from that very thing. But they still love the Lord. That's what I love about when you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's hard to deny that he's real. Mm-hmm. And so you're able to process the sin of man and put it in its healthy place and not disavow the deity and the love and the relationship that you have with Jesus Christ. So it is a very, very harmful place for many. But I think by and large, it's a safe place because Christianity is still growing, not as fast as Islam, but it is still growing, and that's good news, especially in places like Iran and China. But Perry, before I go on, I wanted those pastors who are watching to hear how I responded to that man who had been in pain for 10 years.
Please.
And I think that there's some people who are called to function, whether you believe it's first century cessationism or not, but apostles, prophets, teachers, evangelists, pastors. I'm a pastor, so I have a shepherd's heart. And so when he told me how he felt all those years, I was so gripped. I don't know if you remember, Perry, in the cartoons when you and I were growing up, when the cartoon character, like on Bugs Bunny or on one of those shows, when they started to cry, the tears they wouldn't just drop down, they would just shoot out, straight out. Yeah, the tears were so strong that the tears would just go straight. They were on a horizontal. My tears that day when that man told me that I had been the source of such pain, it put me in a place of such repentance, and I couldn't stop apologizing. And what we have to do as shepherds, we have to understand that we are here to serve the sheep. The sheep aren't here to serve us. And if you have a sheep that's wounded, we do what the psalmist David showed us in Psalm 23. People don't understand. When you put oil on the sheep, oil is a symbol of blessing, but it's also a symbol to protect them from harm from the worms that would burrow in their noses, and they would beat their heads against the rock. Almost really to try to end the pain, to kill themselves. Oil was put on the sheep to protect them from the thickets and to help heal the wounds. We got to pour oil. We cannot be so high and mighty that the sheep can't touch us, and we never look back to see if the sheep are bleeding. Sheep are in the pews bleeding, and all we are interested in is hitting that 9 o'clock service, getting out of there by 10:15 so we can do the next service, and then we can get home and have some brunch. No, it's bigger than that. We have to be shepherds. That is the call if you're a pastor.
Beautiful.
And so I just encourage. This is not a rebuke, because I understand the challenges of leadership. I understand the challenges of an open door. I understand the challenges of people being able to lie on you and bring the ministry down because the enemy is at work. I understand that. But that means that you don't have systems in place so that you can properly be accessible in the right way with protection, but you can't be inaccessible when the sheep are hurting. Mm-hmm. A sermon doesn't heal the sheep. A sermon is good, but everybody knows that we live out our Christian faith from Monday through Saturday. It's not Sunday. So what are we doing for the sheep? Monday through Saturday. Thank you, Perry.
Well, you remind me of James chapter 5 is pretty clear on that. If there's any sick among you, and that word sick takes in a lot, call for the elders of the church, anoint with oil, and prayer the prayer of faith. I think we forget that one.
Perry, you know, I need to take you on the road with me because you're able to just get the most applicable scripture in the moment. You know, I got to sit down and say, now, Lord, now, what scripture applies to this? Yeah, you got it on the tip of your tongue, brother. I love it. And that is a symbol of how you have eaten the word and how you walk out your faith. That doesn't come out of you because you read it this morning in your daily devotional. It comes out of you as a lived faith. I hope people recognize that in you.
Well, thank you. But I do believe in the anointing of oil. But I also like that next verse that comes after it. And it goes to say that if you've committed any sin, it says, confess your faults one to another so that you may be healed. Confession is directly connected to healing.
Yeah.
And that's where the word confidentiality comes in. Are you, as a pastor, and I say this rhetorically to pastors, are you trustworthy of hearing a confession from somebody and praying for them and keep it confidential? Because one of my biggest concerns...
Not in the Protestant experience. Not in the Protestant experience.
Well, see, that's my problem. I say this flippantly, and I should be more careful about it. But I'm almost taking up the term, there's no such thing as spiritual or Christian confidentiality. We got to put confidentiality back into our action here.
We lead in our parachurch ministry, No Longer Bound. We lead with confidentiality because people are laying their entire lives bare. They come through the door of abortion and miscarriage, but that's about the only time they actually talk about it because as we are excavating their pain, their emotional pain, psychological pain, spiritual pain, so much more comes out. And it is amazing. So we are known for confidentiality, and I'm thankful for the leaders that understand it.
Mark, I only got about a minute and a half left. What's the Lord telling you? What's 2026 for Mark?
Well, I tell you, I am, it's not even about me anymore. I'm just walking, trying to do kingdom business. And if the Lord says go left, that's where I go. I have given up on trying to make my own way, trying to satisfy my own ideas for success. I've given it up. Because as much as I try, he keeps leading me in growing my shepherd's heart. And by the way, if you do it right, there's not a whole lot of money in that. The labor is worthy of his hire, don't get me wrong, and it's a relative statement I just made. But I'm just trying to understand the sign of the times. I'm trying to hear from the Lord. We got Jehu running around the world doing amazing things. That's Donald Trump. He's our Jehu now. He was Cyrus. Now he's Jehu. And he's doing amazing things. But they're so amazing that I'm afraid of what they might do to him because he is changing the world structure.
Yeah.
And he is taking out the enemy's system. That invites a shaking.
Mark, good to see you. You just underscored the last time we were together where the Lord called you in the solitude. And your last little line is evidence that you're there. And I want to say thank you for living it out.
Amen. I love you, brother. Thank you.
You're going to be at the NRB because I want to buy you a hamburger.
You know, I'll try. You know, I'm still the chairman of Cure. We have a new president now.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
All right. Free hamburger on me if I see you. See you, bro.
Don't forget the fries. I need fries.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Breakfast served daily until 2 p.m. Breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, skillets, omelets, and more. Sweet Tea Express. Don't get caught hungry.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. we chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so it just, everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
This is from the message of Jesus that we call the Sermon on the Mount. So listen to these words. Jesus says, "Why do you worry about your clothing? Look at the lilies of the field and how they grow. They don't work or make their clothing. Yet Solomon in all of his glory was not dressed as beautifully as they are. And if God cares so wonderfully for wildflowers that are here today and thrown into the fire tomorrow, he will certainly care for you. Why do you have so little faith? So why do you worry about these things, saying, what shall we eat? What will we drink? What will we wear? These things dominate the thoughts of unbelievers, but your heavenly Father already knows all of your needs. So seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today." It was Martin Luther who said, "Pray about it and let God worry." I don't think God worries, obviously, but we do. I think sometimes we think worry is some kind of a virtue, but it isn't. It's really a lack of trust in God. You say, "But Greg, I'm under a lot of stress right now." No, I get it. Jesus did not say, don't think about these things. What he did say was, don't worry about these things, because he will provide for you. Look, God is your healer, not the doctor. God is your provider, not your employer. God is your ever-present companion, not your friend or even your husband or wife. I think we need to realize that what we need above everything else is a close relationship with God. That is why Jesus said, put God's kingdom first, or as the King James translation puts it, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. So I encourage you to turn your worries into worship, turn your panic into prayer. And when you're starting to think about things that matter in life, commit it to the Lord. And remember, he cares about you.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Grab a cup of coffee and start your day right.
Join us for Mornings on the Dove.
Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Good morning.
Woo-hoo, we're here.
Oh, my Lord. We made it.
Yes.
Barely.
Oh, it's not easy out there.
I don't think I've ever had that much trouble opening my car door.
Yeah, this is Mornings on the Dove. I'm Jerry Bild, and this is Paulina Leiser.
yeah.
And you had serious trouble this morning.
I did.
Yeah.
Last night I told Patrick, maybe I should take your truck. He's like, no, you'll be fine. My car was frozen.
The Beamer was frozen.
Yes.
I love it.
His truck beautifully parked in the garage, ready to go.
Four-wheel drive.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And I had to defrost my car, but I'm here. Be careful.
Yeah, be careful.
I was telling Jerry, I can't tell whether the roads are icy, but they look pretty bad.
Yeah, they were nasty. And most of it, honestly, coming in from the upper Rogue, wasn't terrible. It wasn't really bad until I got on the valley floor. And then it started accumulating, and the road started getting covered, and it's slick, so be careful out there.
But you were saying there's some...
Yeah, news overnight. Yesterday, an avalanche occurred in the Tahoe region outside the Boreal ski resort area by Truckee. 15 backcountry skiers were caught in an avalanche. 6 they know have survived. 9 are still missing, so that means they're probably in the snow. They're launching another rescue effort this morning, trying to go out and get them. So prayers and hopes for that, especially for those folks who are still out there, because that is a tenuous situation. Basically, Icy Ski On Avalanche Probe Rescue Team. When people got buried, we went out and got them. And in our training, you learn that when you get buried by an avalanche, you got about a 50-50 chance of surviving up to 30 minutes.
Wow.
30 minutes. So,
so sorry for the dumb question, but what happens when you get buried? Do you kind of like make a little room around yourself?
That's a good point. They say the last thing, if you're in the slide, you're supposed to kick off your skis if you can and go into a swimming motion. You want to try and stay as high in it as you can to try to get your head above. But if you are buried, and as it settles in, they say the last thing you should do is take your hands to your face and then push out as hard and as far as you can, because you're going to create a little air pocket for yourself to breathe, and then you just sit and wait, because now it's like concrete around you. You can't move.
Is there air that comes through the snow?
No, it depends on how deep you are. If you're close enough to the surface, there's some possibility of porousness and some air coming in. But if you're down far enough, you're not going to get any air, and that pocket is all you have. That's why you have 50% chance up to 30 minutes. And everybody who skis in the backcountry uses a sonar or a little radar beeper. Everybody has beepers on. So if you get buried, I have a receiver and a sender, so it does both. So if you're buried, I can go beep, 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 beep. It's like a Geiger counter. It'll lead me to you, and then everybody has shovels, and you try to dig each other out.
So when you say everybody on certain slopes, or just everybody?
No, these are backcountry.
Okay.
This is off of the trails.
So this is off trails.
Yeah, all backcountry skiers carry beepers.
And what's backcountry? Just kind of off-road type of a thing?
Yeah, it's basically, there are trails that take you off of the ski resort area, and you go off the lift areas and you climb mountains. A lot of it is with tele skis, or mountaineering skis, which free up your heel, so you can kind of like cross-country ski, and then you lock them down and you can go down and ski. So there was a party of 15 out yesterday in the Truckee area. Big, massive slide, avalanche happened, and in fact, Interstate 80 yesterday closed over the Donner Pass. So the conditions in the Tahoe area are intense, and so they're going to.
And it's not unpredictable.
Very unpredictable. Some things are to a certain degree, but when it storms hard and you have steep slopes, you have avalanche danger, and it happens every year. Wow. So prayers for them. We'll keep an eye on what's going on in Tahoe. Also today, it is Ash Wednesday.
It is
the beginning of Lenten season for Christians. Serves as a day to remember we're dust. Yeah.
Does your church observe Lent or has any kind of commemoration? I know some churches do, some churches don't.
Yeah, and not really. And I know that especially some of the more liturgical or some of the traditional churches have the ashes and the mark of the cross on your forehead and such. Not so much in Protestantism, but it is a day that we observe. It's the beginning of Lent. Also, I don't know how this fits, But it's
We'll fit it. Come on, bring it on.
National Battery Day. And you know, that hits all of us these days because the way that our culture and our society is, we run on electricity, and now a lot of it is battery. And of course, the new battery push is lithium.
Yeah.
Everything is lithium.
Right.
And
well, and then coffee. Coffee is our battery.
Ah, that's pretty good, Paulina.
It's National Coffee Day.
It is National Coffee Day. Enjoy. Yeah, every day is coffee day.
Yes.
So enjoy that. And did you know that Benjamin Franklin first coined the term battery in 1748 to describe an array of charged glass plates? And the name stuck. Batteries. Also,
so, wow.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the word battery didn't exist before?
No, I think the battery used, but I don't think
Just
it
different.
applied towards an energy source.
Charged.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. I think because there are batteries like storage areas of, you know, I don't know. Anyway, let's have something to eat.
Okay. Yes, please.
National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day. Now this is something I can get behind. A one-of-a-kind dish composed of stuffing made with crab meat, breadcrumbs, butter, and seasonings, which is stuffed into the whole flounder or rolled up into the fillets and baked. Flounder is a mild-flavored flatfish. There are approximately 100 different species of flounder around the United States, and here the most predominant are winter flounder and Pacific flounder. And while there are thousands of species of crabs, only certain ones are edible. In the United States, some of the most popular and tasty ones are the blue crab, stone crab, Dungeness crab, we love that, king crab, and rock or snow crabs. They come in both hard and soft shells and can be found along all the coasts of the U.S., including Hawaii. How about that? And
So
we're
good.
watching
If someone
it be made.
showed up right now with that, I would cancel the show.
Now there are a couple ways. I saw two different ways of preparing it. One is flounder fillets, and then you take the crab stuffing and you roll it up. The other one, he took that flounder, he took a whole flounder, he flayed it down the backbone, opened it up, shoved the stuffing in there, and baked the whole flounder. Now that's not traditionally the way I do fish.
Okay, so you're more rolling?
We're more of a fillet. Yeah, we do like fillets. And but either way, it looks pretty good.
By the way, did you get to fish last year?
I did not. I haven't even been walking. I can't even get
Okay,
down to
I
the
wasn't
creek.
sure. Maybe they deliver you to the hole.
You
fish.
They
take you back.
Yes, there's actually one fishing hole on the Rogue River that is quite good for catching salmon, and it's got handicap access.
I was going to say, that's what you need.
Yes.
Handicap fishing hole.
Oh, man.
That can be a lucrative business.
Oh, I would
Creating
think so.
the handicap fishing holes for people who injure themselves on the slopes.
Go figure.
Follow me for more business advice.
Thanks for asking, Paulina.
Well, we have snow falling behind us, around us. Let's see what's happening in our viewing area. Here is the forecast for you for today.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With wintry conditions continuing across our region, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain and snow with daytime highs near 44 for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley with a chance of rain and snow, then rain showers this afternoon with highs in the mid-40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with rain and snow continuing tonight. In central Oregon, a slight chance of snow in near 38 in Prineville, a chance of snow in near 34 in Bend, and snow likely in low 30s in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, snow showers in near 40. Rain showers along the Oregon coast with a chance of snow flurries in some spots and daytime highs in the mid to upper 40s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, winter storm warnings continue for the Rogue Valley with rain and snow and highs in the upper 30s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, a chance of snow in near 33 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, a chance of snow in near 38 in Wairika, rain and snow in Redding with a high near 46, rain with gusty winds and a high near 46 in Chico and Sacramento with a high near 50. In the Bay Area, rain with patchy fog and a high near 51 in Santa Rosa, rain for Napa with a high near 51 and San Francisco near 53, and today in San Jose, rain and patchy fog with a high near 52. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
There's Mount Ashland, looking from the lodge out to the parking lot into the locker room over there. and it's flurrying. They're kind of floating around, aren't they? It's not a driving snow.
They're supposed to open tomorrow. Do you think too much snow can prevent it or not?
There's no such thing as too much snow.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But it can, yeah. It can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, it created some serious issues in Lake Tahoe. I haven't gotten an update on Interstate 80 yet, if it's open or not, but we've been stuck up there before. Donner Pass is a notorious place. So all travel today, I would go to tripcheck.com. Not only do you get road conditions, but you can go get webcams over the passes that you may be thinking about going over. Think about it, check it out, and you may want to just sit tight today. But anyway, tripcheck.com. Time for some encouragement with Dr. Anthony George as he encourages us with the Scripture's declaration of the glory of God.
I love how God looked at what he had made in 6 days. In Genesis 1:31, it says, "And God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day." In that great throne room scene of Isaiah chapter 6, the living creatures cried out to one another, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." And look what I've underlined there. Would you read it with me? The whole earth is full of his glory. In Nehemiah, when the leaders of the Jewish people were leading them to corporate repentance, they voiced a prayer in chapter 9. "You alone are the Lord. You have made heaven, the heaven of heavens with all their host, the earth and everything on it, the seas and all that is in them." And look at what they say to God. He preserves all that he created. What do you know? We don't have to worry about it. "And the host of heaven worships you."
Now we don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, let's see what is happening in the news right now. Let's look at some of the top stories. Remember Kilmar Abrego Garcia?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Well, there is a federal ruling right now. Federal judge has ruled that this Salvadorian migrant cannot be redetained by Immigration and Custom Enforcement, finding the government failed to justify his continued immigration custody or show a realistic plan to deport him in the near future. The judge said officials repeatedly threatened to remove him to several African countries without legal orders, and now he has to be free to wait for his trial in Nashville next week.
Okay.
He's been in the country illegally, or he came here illegally. Apparently the government does have some evidence of his wrongdoings in the past, smuggling and all that stuff.
Trafficking. Right?
Some big items.
Big items.
So the White House says they will continue to fight it, and here's what Carolyn Levitt said.
The White House, the administration, opposed this activism from a judge who is really acting as a judicial activist, which we've unfortunately seen in many cases across the country. Abrego Garcia is present in our country illegally. He is a proven human trafficker. He is a proven gang member. The administration has evidence of that. And as you saw from the Department of Homeland Security, they issued a statement saying they'll continue to fight this legal battle in court.
Love it when the legacy news media talks about this case. They don't talk about proven human trafficker or any of the gang member, any of those issues. They refer to him as a Maryland man.
Yes, Maryland father. Yeah, with a rap sheet.
Oh, it's crazy.
A receipt from Costco.
Oh, gosh.
You know, this issue has become, and it's interesting to see some of the Democrats are talking about how the borders need to be secured. I mean, Hillary Clinton
Even
made
Hillary got some
comments,
waves, yes.
And yet we have these cases which, to me, they're almost black and white, if I can say. You know, you're here, I get it. It's hard. Immigration process is long and difficult.
You know it better than most.
Yeah. And maybe that's why I'm a little more harsh on that, where you came here legally. Maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe your parents brought you here, but you came here illegally. And illegally means breaking the law.
Right.
So something has to be done about it. And maybe some cases need to be addressed differently. But to say that there is no law broken and these people deserve special treatment because of that, I think is disrespectful to American citizens.
They didn't require special treatment under past administrations, especially the Obama administration.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious.
And for those of us who did go through the process, it does kind of sting because, you know, I have family members who'd love to be here.
Sure.
I have family members who haven't been able to come here or that I haven't been able to see for years.